All right, we're in. Settle down, settle down. Hey, Potato, welcome in, buddy. And over on the YouTube side, I got a message from Struggle Buzz saying that apparently my Twitch chat was in subscriber mode. Hopefully, should be fixed by now. I hope. It is way too easy. There we go. There we go. Okay, good. Everybody's on Twitch. Good. It is way too easy to turn subscriber only chat on. It turns out I accidentally my finger brushed the button ever so lightly, and then it doesn't really show you that it's active. It highlights the button very lightly. So I had to squint it and go like, is that on? And I was like, well, I mean, it's on because I just got told it's on, but like, and then I tapped it, and then I couldn't tell if it was off because there's barely no changes of a bad user experience design. Bad users, hello, welcome in. It is halfway through the week. It's Wednesday. We made it. We survived. Halfway, 3 days into the week, 2 days into the stream. Heads up. Friday stream is up in the air. Some scheduling stuff has come up, and I may not be available on Friday to stream at my usual time. Not sure yet. We'll definitely know by tomorrow. But today it's kind of a 50-50 chance. We'll see how that goes. But I'm doing fine. I made it. I showed up on the stream, and look, folks, I gotta admit, I made a mistake today. I start so many streams saying I made a mistake, and it's always true. The mistake I made today is that I spent $13 on a game. No, it's not a gainful employment thing. It's more just a scheduling issue for something else. Unfortunately, not gainful employment. Alas, I will never be gainfully employed again. I suspect. This is gainful employment. Technically, I'm making like pennies right now to doing this. The tiniest of pennies. Um, but hey, no. I made a mistake. Speaking of pennies, I spent 1,300. No, yes, 1,300 of them is $13. Yes, about $13 on a game this morning because I'd heard good things about it. It's been around for a little while. It's still in early access. It's called TCG Shop Simulator, Trading Card Game Shop Simulator. Um, why is that game so much fucking fun? It has no business being as like I turned it on just to make sure it worked. As I figured, all right, you know what? It's cheap. $13 is good. Because the other game that has completely devoured me right now is Metaphor Refantasio, and I am an entrepreneur. All right, I am an entrepreneur. It's in me. It's in my blood. Business and profit and revenue and shit. And yeah, so yeah, the other game that's devoured my time is Metaphor Refantasio, and that one I've made a conscious choice that I'm not going to stream it. That I want that game to be for me. That said, quick off the cuff Metaphor Ray Fantasio review. My name is Metaphor D Fantasio, and I will be king of the pirates. I'm going to be the king for these people. They deserve better. And I can make this happen. All right, I can make a better world is possible. Is what that game is telling me. Also, dethrone, fight, dethrone, and kill God, as is the core message of all JRPGs. But anyway, that game I'm not playing for stream. But I thought like, all right, I've heard good things about Trading Card Game Shop Simulator, TCG Simulator, and TCG Shop Simulator rather. And let me just pick it up. And I don't want to learn how to play it on stream necessarily. Let me just give it a quick playthrough, just get a vibe for it and see how it goes. That was maybe 3 hours ago. And then suddenly I look up and it's like 5 minutes before 2. It's like, oh no. Oh, this was a mistake. Oh no. The fun part is I was playing it as if I was streaming. I was talking to the camera. Everything was off. I was still talking to the camera. I couldn't help myself. It is a good streaming game. Point is, yeah, the rise and grind will get you. It does. Oh my God. So I think whether Friday streaming happens or not. Saturday is also up in the air because part of Fandible can meet, part might not. We might still do something. I don't know. That's out of my control at the moment. But Sunday, almost certainly, I'm gonna this time I'm gonna stream. I want to stream some of some of that. I want to stream some trading card game shop simulator because that was actually stupid fun. And yes, thank you for calling out the podcast, the Fandible folks. Good man. I do have that as a button, don't I? I do, but I'm not going to do it right now because it's already been done. Anyway, thank you. Point is, mistakes were made, but these mistakes will lead hopefully to people getting to hang out and do stuff. It is a good Federal meeting. Always happy for new content. Oh yeah, no, I mean October. We knew October was going to be a shit show. Like, we have not been able to get together. We got together one weekend in October, like 2 weeks ago. That was it, and even that one was not the usual crew. I think it was me, Dave, and Billy, which is a weird combo. It's usually it's me, Dave, and Jesus, and then if we're lucky, we get Billy or Angela. If we're truly lucky, we get them both. It's just how life is these days. So that was a weird combo, and then this weekend we might have that same combo. Actually, me, Dave, and Billy, maybe, not sure. I know Jesus can't make it this weekend, but there's not been a single weekend in October where all of us have been available, either because everybody's getting married, not my friends, but friends of friends. Everybody decided October was the get married month, and apparently everybody also decided that it was destination wedding month. So I was invited to any of those weddings. To be fair, I don't know any of these people, but my friends all got invited to these weddings, and that's all meant that just no weekend time for anybody to get together and hang out. Sounds like a horror palooza. Yes. I mean, look, if nothing else, Dave is just happy because he's the one who's been traveling for weddings. I think he's just happy to finally be home. If I'm not mistaken, they're done. I don't know if they have another one next weekend. I don't think so. Or weekend after next, rather. I don't think so. I think they're finally done. So even if we don't record, we'd probably just hang out and watch horror movies. Just one weekend in October, just hang out and watch horror movies, honestly, with my friends, we'll see if we I mean, recording is honestly optional. Like these, I've said it before, I'll say it again, and I'll continue saying it. Fanduel is cool and I love it, and it's a miracle we continue to do it for this long. But the Fanduel folks are my friends first and foremost. Like, I will gladly, like, we have never missed a week. Let me be clear. We have never, I don't think, I mean, I might be wrong by this point. I don't think so. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we have never missed a single week of posting. We might have posted a day late here and there, but there's never been a week in which we have not put out something, in like 13, 14 going on years, which is fucking unheard of. And I will break that streak in a heartbeat for the sake of these people. Like, in a heartbeat. I don't care. I do not care. I will break a 14-year streak if it means, like, no, my friends need a break. No recording this weekend, So that hasn't happened yet, but oh boy, our buffer is very thin. So it might happen. I don't think it'll be the end of Fandible if we miss a single week. Though it is still something to be proud of that we haven't. But yes, no, we will have. Like I said, I'm pretty sure we're going to record something this weekend. I just don't know what. We're all sort of dazed coming out of October, honestly. So we'll figure it out. I want to run one thing. I haven't talked to the guys about it yet, but I want to run because I've been reading Monster of the Week lately. And I think I want to run an ongoing game of Monster of the Week for the boys. And that, one that like Billy and Angela can drop in, drop out. We've been kind of doing that already with some like Hunter the Reckoning. I think Jesus has been running some Hunter the Reckoning, and we also have those little standalones, from Dave. They're like the Technocracy games, and those are kind of monster hunting. Um, we like the monster hunting genre. It's fun. It works, and so Monster of the Week is specifically for that. And I want to give running a Powered by the Apocalypse system, now that we understand it much better. I want to give that a try again, and run some of that. So keep your ears peeled for that. Hopefully, in the next few months, we'll have some episodes of actual Monster of the Week up. Hopefully, let me see. Let me catch up on chat real quick. How long do you guys stream with the kiddo as another player? I mean, no, we that kid is growing up fast and making me feel older and older every day. That said, we have told Billy that, bad news. That kid's going to be a football player. They're going to be a jock. They're going to be so cool. They're going to think you are so uncool. They are not going to be into tabletop RPGs at all. That is the curse we have placed upon him. That your kid will be a popular jock kid. And honestly, that kid has a long flowing mane of golden hair, and he's gotten the best of both sides in his looks. I think the curse might be coming true. I think the curse might come true. We'll see. But on that note, I don't think he'll ever join us, because he will be terribly ashamed that his father is a huge nerd. Listen, you gotta understand. And by we I mean myself and Dave especially, are from a generation of gamers in which, honestly, it still feels weird. It's still there is still a level of admitting that you like D&D makes you uncool. And some school bullying that we never quite got over. And so, to this day, I still hesitate to talk, which is weird, because now I'm trying to kind of make a living out of this shit. But it still feels weird. Like right now, I can't help but talk about it without putting it down a little. Trying to get past that, because turns out this shit's an industry. So it's pretty solid by this point. But we still come from that generation of, like, there's a stigma that is so deeply ingrained. Same thing going on through high school in the 2000s. We were a lot cooler than any of those years. I am. It's true. I will. I will agree 100%. I'm in fact much cooler than all those douches. Anyway, hey, folks, we're here to talk about a video. Not a video game, a tabletop RPG. As I saw it called the other day, a titter pig. Oh, nope, that's not what I wanted. What happened? That's the camera. Hi. Good thing I don't just leave porn out. I should start doing that. I should leave little Easter eggs for folks, so when I switch over and I don't have, there we go, and I don't have the app up, y'all can just get little surprises. Every now and then it'll just be like a little what are you doing? No, stop that. There we go. It'll be just there, and there's just a little baggie of cocaine, just a little baggie, and then it's like, oh, sorry. Anyway, let's see. Oh, hey, while I was talking about cocaine, chat popped off. Let's see. We had parents who tossed. Oh, Arbalest. First of all, welcome in, buddy. Welcome in. Appreciate the chat. And I. All right, I'm not gonna get into full the effect. You know what? Let me go back. I'm not gonna get into the full story of it, but I have mentioned I literally learned to read with my dad's original edition, like red box, white box, Dungeons and Dragons, and then Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and then Advanced Dungeons and Dragons second edition. Like, that's how I learned to read. So I got it from my dad. My mom was cool for a time. Eventually, they divorced, and my mom, love her to death. We have since come to peace. I love her dearly. She has asked and received forgiveness. We have worked through our issues, and I love my mother dearly. But at the time, she went full religious, full fundamentalist, and yeah, she burned, literally burned so many books, including like fantasy novels that friends had lent me. One of my friends had lent me a couple of fantasy novels. Her mom was an English teacher. As you might imagine, she was fucking horrified when she found out that my mother had burned books. But yeah, all my fantasy and tabletop RPG books and everything from when I grew up, all that shit's literally gone, up in flames. And, again, like I said, she understands now. She made mistakes, which is better than many ever get to. But it did happen. Yeah, spicy lore. I mean, that's the thing. Like, we went through that generation of tabletop RPG players, especially like the whole satanic panic thing, the investigations, the stuff that happened to, what was it, to Steve Jackson Games, where they literally like got raided. That was all like vaguely related. Like it was a weird time. It was a weird time. And boy, that stuff's left scars. So yeah, no, I've been there. Arbalest, I'm there with you. I'm there with you. I've been there. It fucking sucks. Fucking sucks. Hopefully parents have chilled out over the decades. I think they have. I think by now, especially now, D&D has a certain cultural cachet that it didn't used to have. So I hope kids now aren't going through that same chaos that we used to. At least, in general. I'm sure there are pockets of America. Yeah, the Steve Jackson raid that ended up costing the foundation of the EFF. Yeah, exactly. It's like, it is funny how stuff like the EFF, which, by the way, I'm a paying member of. I've been for like decades. Like EFF, yeah, like it's one of my original homies online, but yeah, it is wild to think that organization in part owes its beginning to a tabletop RPG company, the Illuminati, whatnot. I don't know if they've chilled out so much as we've been in unprecedented times since 2001, and people are just tired. Also that. I mean, that's the thing. Like, yeah, the witch hunts have moved on to other stuff. There are still pockets which will call like D&D satanic and whatnot. But now they've moved on to newer and hotter things to hate. Anyway, let's bring it back. Let's bring the culture war is focusing on making it hell for others. Exactly. Look, the culture war is always going to be there, and it's still in the Titter Pig. I'm gonna start using Titterpig. It's in the Titterpig world. One of the guys I follow, he's not even Titterpig. It's 40K. There's this guy that I follow on TikTok, and he's recently been blowing up, and he does like long form, especially for TikTok long form, like 5, 6, 7 minute long videos explaining, just talking about the different factions and the history of Warhammer 40K, and he's had to make a few videos recently, kind of like calling out like the fucking gatekeepers and other folks in the community that are like super gatekeepy and super like, no women. Like basically, like before it was a satanic panic and it was people outside of this burning it down. Now, I'm from that generation, so it fucking bugs me when I see these assholes. Because I see these assholes who are from my generation, who are my age, or or slightly older, slightly younger, but are around there, and of course a lot of assholes that are young assholes too. Don't get me wrong. It's not just us. It's mostly dudes, unfortunately. And like basically, you got bullied when liking these games was uncool. You got bullied. And you got made to feel bad, and now these games are suddenly cool, And people that don't look like you and are not nerds, let's face it, they're not, are now interested in these games. All of a sudden, now you get to basically try and bully them. No, fuck you. That makes you a bad person. Makes you a bad person. That's simply what it is. If in whatever hobby you're at, your reaction to new people coming into it that don't look like you or think exactly like you or have the same history or have different approaches to the hobby than you have, if your reaction to that is vitriol and hate and rejection, you're not a good person. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. It's not a matter of opinion. That's a simple fact. Chill the fuck out. Anyway, yes, thank you for following me, Blue Sky. That is the connection that I needed to have today. I'm gonna see. I need to keep saying Titterpigs so that it's for the social medias. It's for the social medias. How dare somebody else have fun? Exactly, or have fun in a way that I don't particularly enjoy or care for. Like, fine. Like I ranted in another stream the other day, like, hey, the old editions are gone. Look, right now D&D is going through its whole little thing with D&D 2024 versus 5th ed and 5th edition and whatnot, and I don't care that much because I'm kind of done with D&D. But fuck the edition wars. Like, if the new system is better for what you want, great. If you're not interested in the new system, great. Look, I get it for some ecosystems like D&D, it is an upheaval because there's this entire ecosystem around things and the compatibility and whatnot, and people, like, there are still people making, like, the whole OSR thing. If you still like really old school D&D, there it is. Shadow Dark is amazing. Go play that. Look, man, being stuck in the past is just never a good look. It's all I'm saying. All right, look, folks, we've basically been through an entire segment of this show, of this stream already. Like, we're a few minutes away from the next set of ads, and we haven't even started on the topic, which is that I don't hate the primals. We went through this yesterday, so I guess we'll use the next few minutes before the ad break to just catch up on where we were. But we saw the primal. We met Izzy. I tried to do a silly voice and failed. I will not do that again. I played with it a little bit last night. It sounds so bad. It sounds so artificial, this service. Am I paying for that? I better not be paying for voice mod. I think I paid for like a year in advance about a year ago. I should double check and make sure that I'm not about to be charged, because honestly, like, I don't know. I thought I might use it for like when I'm running games, so I want to do like some voices, but I'm not great at voices, but I can do voices. It's fine. I don't know. Maybe the machine is not prepared to turn this sweet baritone of mine. I don't know if I'm a baritone. I have no idea what the voice tones are. I'm gonna call myself a baritone and get corrected later. But maybe the machine just doesn't have the capability of converting the sweet baritone voice of mine into a soft girlish tone, and frankly, it's fine. It's fine. I know the machines have their limits. So I'm not going to do a voice for Izzy, but we like Izzy. Izzy, we have suspicion, and by we I mean mostly me, have a suspicion that Izzy is very old, because they're making a lot of references that I get, but I would not expect a teenager of the year, the plague year, year of our Lord Nurgle, 2024 to get. So I'm thinking Izzy is actually around my age, which makes her hanging out with a teenager and pretending to be a teenager creepy. I'm gonna go with creepy. So Izzy's weird. Izzy's kind of a weirdo, but Izzy's also a werewolf, one of the shifters that is werewolfy, and I don't hate it. I was surprised that the sort of the shifting form is both simpler and less hardcore than what I thought about that it was going to be. Like, there aren't like 5 or 6 separate real forms. It's just like you're a human or you're a monster version of your animal. anything else would be specific spells, apparently. Um, and and the bonuses that you get are cool. But there's also like this game plus one difficulty on influence, actually. So it's also like a trade-off. Um, you're just basically you're just tougher, you're faster, tougher, and more difficult to harm, but not ridiculously so. Which I don't mind. Again, I don't hate it. I was expecting. I keep like looking for reasons to not like it, and it's like, no, this is fine. This is fine. If anything, it's toned down. If anything, I'm kind of surprised how toned down it feels. But also, this is the base for everybody, for all shifters. So different specific types of shifters might have, things. And I think we saw that with the werewolf ones. So the first ones we saw, let's catch up real quick. Because the first ones we saw of the lineages of the families were the Ocho, which I absolutely fell in love with. The Ocho are great spider shifters. I dig them. I dig their whole vibe. I dig that they're kind of not entirely human way of thinking. I absolutely love everything about the Ochos. Spider people, rah, rah, rah. And then we met the Get of Laika, the werewolves. And the worst thing I can say about them is that they're a little bit bland, almost. They're very stereotypical werewolves. The one flavor thing that I was kind of surprised by is that they do seem to have a real big focus on lightning and thunder. But not a real big lore focus that I'm seeing on what stuff that I would have expected, like Viking imagery and stuff. Not really that. But there's that tie to thunder and lightning. That's cool. I didn't see that with the spiders. The spiders was just more of a web thing and a social thing. So again, we're seeing a variety. We're not seeing just like 5 different flavors or 6 different flavors of the same set of powers or whatever. We seem to be getting pretty good variety within the primals, and I dig that. And if we're getting a good variety, then I don't mind that the werewolves are a little sort of stereotypical, not that interesting to somebody like me who's not that interested in werewolves, but I can see that the pure core of what the werewolf sort of experience, if you will, is there. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. And with that in mind, now we're going to jump up to the hides, who are going to be pretty interesting, because so far we're thinking of the primals as animal people, but these are like people. Like, so let's look at them right after these ads. Haha, you thought I'd forgotten. And we have returned. All right, let's look at the hides. I'm excited for these guys. Let's see. We are what's coming. Freak, monster, psychopath. I've heard it all before. What you're looking at isn't some bizarre experiment gone wrong. Heavens, no. It's a carefully planned experiment gone right. The ignorant think we hides are the next step forward for humanity, but the truth is a lot simpler. The family head we'll call Dr. Jekyll went backward, picking out all the strongest, smartest, most capable traits and applied them to us. We welcome this curse. The side effects, well, they're unfortunate, but no experiment is without teething pains. Oh, speaking of teething pains, hubris brought us here, if you can believe it. That's what the others say anyway, but what they call hubris, arrogance, overconfidence, da. Fine. We are what we are because we reached for it. Others are too afraid to even try wearing their hair in a different style, let alone experimenting with their nature. We are young. A century and change of existence puts us in rare company compared to the antiquated beasts we call cousins. We're the youngest family, but that also means we're the most capable of adapting to the modern world. We have a history of strong intellects and academic brilliance, too, putting us above the rank and file. Experimentation is key. You need to test your limits, push them, exceed them. It's the only way you'll find the key to your true self. What the others call their creature is someone we would interview and analyze if we could. The truth is elusive, but we must find it. We will do the research. The void inside. Why is it that when we shift to our wild form we feel agony? This should be euphoria, but it feels like we're passing fire through the pores in our skin, like we're revealing our inner self and finding it ugly? No, put it from your mind. This is power. We should embrace it and discover what we can. Superiority is an illusion. We are the best suited to lead, do not be mistaken. But where our cousins experience harmony when tapping into their primeval vein, we struggle. It would be a lie, therefore, to say that we are superior in every way. Is the human superior to the cat? One can create fire and paint on a cave wall, but the other is the true predator and master of its domain. No. Except that there is much to learn from your peers. We learn. We are masters of learning. A bloody, sadistic streak. The desire to torture is inimitably human. Maybe this is the wrong forum to discuss it, but don't you feel it as well? That joy and humiliation, despair and pain? Is this what we are on the inside? Dr. Jekyll is with a patient. It's like you and I can stop the transformative process. Oh yes, we can revert to a state of dull mundanity if we want. Of course, you'd have to capture a young Hyde, experiment on them, drain their life, take their dignity, and steal their accomplishments, creating a false face for yourself. That false face is a Jekyll, and many of our elders do that very thing. We come in peace. Not so long ago, we were anathema to other primal. Through great effort and sacrifice, we extended the olive branch of peace. We had to supplicate, beg for forgiveness, and accept certain uncomfortable truths. It's a new day for all of us. We should feel glad, shouldn't we? If only they'd listen when we come to teach them. Okay, so I like the hides so far. Interesting. There's definitely freak monster psychopath. Yeah, there's a weird narcissistic streak. Not quite, because true narcissism does not ever admit a weakness or failure, really. But traits of that, and even then, it's the way they say this, it's like, oh yeah, no, we're not perfect, we're not superior in every way, just most ways. There's an arrogance to it that I dig. Also, just the fact that these shapeshifters, again, we're not really getting a. Well, we'll get more of Oh man, actually, no, we won't really. Yeah, well, here we're not seeing, again, maybe once we look at the spells and specific systems and everything, but like we don't really see an explanation here of what exactly they shift into. It's more hinted at than anything else. But it's implied that it's like a perfected version of themselves. Anyway, let's see what they think of the other families. Relations. The Eight Hands have experienced the greatest step forward, though you wouldn't know it without study. They understand mysteries, hoard secrets, and push themselves from base insects and arachnids to something far beyond their place in the hierarchy. Still, others underestimate them. The raptors had their time in the sun. The primals are seen as fools and beasts because the raptors have allowed them to be seen that way. We would elevate this lineage to new prominence, and do you know something? There are families who agree with us. Oh, I like the politicking. I like the politicking. I own a cat, though the Sphinx making me wonder if she owns me. Such cunning creatures. The only side they care for is their own, so you must appeal to their selfish interests. That is correct. That is how cats work. The spawn of Vodnik are an interesting bunch. If you treat them well, they'll perform all sorts of favors, and boy do they show the benefit of pure animal cunning. Once upon a time we feared wolves. Now we tame them, restrict them to certain controllable areas. We keep the flock safe by directing the Get of Laika, our attack dogs, at intruding foxes. They don't realize they're slaughtering their own kin. We have much in common with the sorcerers. Like them, we tend to view our condition less like a curse and more as an avenue to greater things. I would kill to find out how they achieve such power without the bloody side effects we unleash. But maybe that's the problem. Don't write the dead off. The older you go with these spectral entities, the more you learn about the human condition. Other primal call us freaks, cavemen, and other less complimentary terms. Within our family, we refer to each other by title and name. It may seem formal, I know, but so many of us pursue doctorates, become professors, and so on that we appreciate the human desire for title recognition. You can call me Doctor. We use our magic to alter our bodily states to hideous, destructive ends, improve our intellects to unravel the world's mysteries, experiment with what we can change through spellcraft as well as science. It is a brave new world, and we use magic to leave our mark upon it. Path skills, enigmas, leadership, science, big focus on mental attributes, physical second, social far in the third, access to university campus, secret laboratory, military testing sites, research assistant, animal test subjects. Okay, let's see here. Foul humors, again, we don't know what the spells are yet, so we'll hopefully see them at some point. Major path inheritance. When not in your wild form, you may bottle one of your spells by activating it and bleeding one additional curse die. You may then activate the power in the future for free as a reflective action on your turn, but only if you aren't in wild form. You may only have one bottled spell at a time. When you shift into your wild form, you automatically gain access to the wrecking tag on all attacks and cannot use your bottled ability. Interesting. So your main thing doesn't actually even work when you're shifted. But basically you can kind of like keep a power prepped and ready to go in a bottle. Let's see, I'm really digging the imagery. The professor monster has been a neglected trope. True. I like the imagery. I like how they're being presented. Yeah, no, I'm really digging this. I mean, they seem to... The only thing is like they do almost feel like, almost by definition, they're more villainous. They're like almost naturally villainous. In this weird sort of way. Let's see. Then again, maybe not. Like, like you can play like amoral. I mean, they're amoral at best. Not that morality is really something that we're assigning to any of these families outright, but like these are some of the closest I've come to just straight up like, no, we are bad guys. We're totally bad guys. You know, we're at the very least like, no, they're not. You know what? No, they're almost just unapologetic assholes. Villainous Victorian scientist, 70s psychologist, whatever. Yeah, exactly. Um, so they strike me as unrepentant assholes, which, you know, I don't mind in my games. It can be fun. Interesting though, and also then when you do shift, you gain the wrecking tag on all attacks, which is cool because you're a human wrecking ball. Let's see, motifs. Gain +1 enhancement when casting a spell with the liminal attunement. Okay. After benefiting from a spell with the mutable form Maelstrom, you may bleed 1 curse die to bottle the spell, allowing you to hold a second bottle spell. Okay, cool. And when casting mutable form Maelstrom. I wonder what the Maelstroms are. Systems we haven't met yet. When casting spells with the physical attunement, bleed 1 additional curse die to apply the dread area effect to the scene. Interesting. Alright, some cool stuff, some fun stuff. Play a hide if you want to exalt in your primordial power, inspiring terror in others, unravel the scientific secrets surrounding the primal state, and assert dominance over a group of like-minded or coerced individuals. Interesting. So there's a hint of Promethean, but not really. I like this. It's interesting. I like that they are included within the primals, especially because it's almost like, I mean, they say it right here. They say it, oh, we are the next step in evolution. No. Dr. Jekyll went backwards. That's the thing. That's why they're called, like, you know, people call them cavemen. So basically you're taking a step back to that more sort of Neanderthal caveman version, not some futuristic fully evolved, but a devolved version of yourself that is faster, stronger, more brutal. The other thing is that, well, I guess, yeah, they do say, oh, the side effects, oh, the hideous side effects, and yeah, there's the pain. There's also well, I guess the same thing they have, yeah, the sadistic streak, right? Like, this is all, so that's the thing, all hunters, all primal have this. They have that hunting streak, and so the hides also have to hunt, but they, more than anyone, are not hunting to eat. They are hunting because, as sadists. Like, the other ones can kind of blame it on the creature being like a creature, being mindless, being a hunter, being this beast. But the hides, you know, the creature inside them is still a human, right? It's so there. It's easier to ascribe those vibes of like sadism and outright evil to them. So interesting approach there. I like it. I think they could be fun. They feel more like they're built to be bad guys, though. That's my only complaint there. They feel like they're built to be bad guys. Let's see, the Raptors. Okay, so the Raptors are apparently taking the role from what the vibes that the other ones are giving us. The Raptors are taking the role of like the werewolves in previous ones, in terms of like being like, oh, top of the, you know, proverbial and sometimes literal food chain within the various types of primals, of shifters. Let's see if that impression is correct. The Raptors, cold-blooded. Oh, you don't know the half of it. You come near my clutch and I'll fucking end you. Yeah, I bet you heard the feathered serpents were cool, patient, aloof. All of that might be true, but that don't mean we're not vindictive, fuckers. You come for my people, that's when you cross the line, my friend. And people who cross my line end up with their entire body strangled nice and tight. I'll make it real slow so you feel every damn rib pop. We are the primeval. The other primals, yeah, they got means, they got power, but we got legacy. We're the oldest family, Talon and Fang. We got oral tradition, my friend, and a good, strong one. Goes back long before snakes were associated with Eden and birds were associated with cowardice. We got the weight of ages on us. We know things. Duplicity was our undoing. The story goes that the first of our family was the Prince of Lies and fooled even the canniest of marks. But eventually those lies came back to bite him, and into a feathered serpent he transformed. His subterfuge, his rainbow wings, beautiful, but beneath all that, a cold heart. I'm guessing you told a lie or two as well to get here. Wearing your face. We don't go bounding after our prey over hill and down dale. We sit among you. We watch you move, drink, smile, and spend. We move too, side to side. We match, drink for drink, smile for smile. You'll never see us coming. When it's time to bite, you better hope it's a quick one. We're not sadists, not all of us. But why would a raptor care for your suffering? Funny thing though, we're not blending in with the prey. There's not much left but seething pain. Masks are necessary. Ancient mysteries call us. We've been around too long to see anything as coincidence. There's a pattern to the curses, and we speak its language. We know about the things, the people, the fairies that lie beyond. The eight hands only care for dirty secrets, but we want the truth. This curse is unjust. The others, they pretend they don't care. But we care. This curse fills us with a deep well of bile and loathing. For millennia we've struggled. We've been through countless names and countless forms. We always return to our squalid forms with scales and fangs and feathers. You think it's noble? We've done our time. Respect is everything. Don't think you can rest on your laurels. Legacy only goes so far. We can't let others forget us. You, I, others like us will wrap ourselves around the family heads and choke them until they beg for forgiveness. There will be none. But there will be respect once the others see our results. And you need to respect your elders, for they have the power to eat you. Worms disgrace our name, but they will just as soon consume you and accept your failures. Alright, so there's a mafia, a family, an old family vibe to them. There's a vibe of also like kind of a First Nations kind of thing. Interesting that they consider their curse a proper curse, and they're like tired of it. Like they consider turning, going into their animal forms, like sort of beneath them. From what it says here, like we always return to our squalid forms. Like we done our time. It's like, yeah, we should be done with this curse by now. Interesting. Like it. All right. Let's see. Relations. The Sphinx are acid, alkaline, and every element that consumes. The basest form of earth. They ooze around everyone else like they're not there, but they are, and they corrode everything they touch. Nobody destroys a hierarchy like a Sphinx. You just gotta give them time. Have you noticed some of them develop eagle's wings? We have more in common than you'd think. The Hides are fire. They're the youngest of us and seek to supplant our ancient leadership. We've seen families like the Hides before. They grew, they exploded, they burned out. Some still linger as a lesson to the rest of us. Let the creature loose, but don't give it control. Lycans are the storm. Everyone think about them as destruction. They say we're a pack, that they'll direct their energy at the enemy. I know electricity. I know it can only be directed for so long before someone has to earth it. Watch their fury. Tame it, or move into the spaces as they lose control. The spiders are night. Yeah, the eight hands keep everything down low. If you earn their trust, you'll never have a better friend. That's easier said than done. They'll retreat into the gloom if you get too close. The dead, they know bitterness, but theirs is a temporary resentment. They each lived one life that ended in tragedy. We have generations of that shit. Still, good to share an evening and show off scars. Outcasts make me smile. All that anger and hatred because Daddy told you to go out and make a name for yourself? Pathetic, but enjoyable. Others call us snake or bird shifters or just feathered serpents. They're simple enough titles, and we don't object. We've been through so many names now, how can we expect them to get it right? Within the family, we call each other after the type of animal our wild form resembles. We don't attach a monomyth to it. There's no stigma. Why would there be? The only cursed word is worm, used with arrogance by the elders who would rob us of life. Damn them. We use our magic to mentally castrate and cripple our prey, whether through fear or other more subtle methods. Our magic enables us to lash out fast without warning. Our spells call on the elements in ways too primordial for other primal to approach understanding. We understand the occult weave at a spiritual level. Yeah, definitely a yeah. I'm getting South America. I'm getting Southwest U.S. From my experience and my personal experiences, but yeah, like that's the vibe I'm getting. Not a bad one. Not a bad one. I like this. Interesting that they sort of grouped birds and reptiles together, but also like yeah, makes sense. Makes sense that they would be. I like that it kind of it is like this bigger block. Let's see, empathy, esoterica, leadership. Okay, focus on mental, but all rounders. Access to museums, organized crime, university libraries, no lay meetings, and occultists, personal predator. Your knowledge, of course. Oh, and they're also the mysticists. They're also the wizards. They're also the ones that know a lot about the magical side of this. Interesting. Your knowledge of curses allows you to see how it weaves in and out of everyone's lives. Once per session, you may pull on a curse as a simple action to steal a curse from someone else in the scene. Gain a number of curse dice up to your entanglement. If the victim is a supernatural, this provokes a clash using your esoterica plus manipulation versus their esoterica plus stamina. Interesting. So you can kind of like steal cursed energy once per session. Interesting. Cool. When casting a spell with support, bleed one should die. Okay, support the better support. They can cast elemental stuff quicker and attack spells, and they're better at attack spells. So they are magic. They are offensive spellcasters to avoid. Play a raptor if you want to. Play a being determined to uphold a legacy of spite and vengeance. I've worked with people like that. Research the best ways to remove curses. Mentally manipulate and break the most corrupt people in high society. Oh, I do like that. Almost all of them are presented from a point of view of like you're the next generation, and we're gonna take down the old heads. We're gonna take down the boomers. I think you found your people here, huh? Excellent, Struggle Bus. Well, there you go. The Raptors are here for you, my friend. Let's see who's next. Ooh, the spawn of Vodnik. All right, fish people. Let's see how are we doing on the ad situation. We're still good for a few more minutes, at least 5, so I think we can get through the beginning of the spawn. Let's go. Spawn of Vodnik. The water seems still, but this only the surface. Plunge your head and look deep. Actually, wait. Let's see what accent. Waters for hatching and ancestors' rest. Shoreline, village, town, and city, they're ours. We watch the normals go about their business. We observe, but we follow. They never notice us. Oh no, they never notice a Vodnik. Vodnici be quiet, Vodnici be invisible. So when Vodnici strike, why, it's most merciful. They don't even know they've been hit. Wet as fish and jumpy as frogs. That's me. That's you and all. Where we live, do you really think we spend all our time swimming in the water? Don't be dense. Boats, docks, piers, seaside resorts, now they're fun. From those places, we ply our trade. We sell our wares, forbidden curios of the cursed the world over. We know a price when we see one. As recent as all that, forefather founded the line, made a deal with the primordial aquatic beast, so they say. He said he was blessed by the creature to better scour the seas for lost treasure. I don't even know what this accent is anymore. It's going all over the place, so I'm going to stop it. Revisionists these days would say different, that he was cursed for his curiosity and greed. He delved too deep, see? And now every one of his descendants are watery natures inescapable. And we can't help but be curious, too. All right, so let's see here. So they're slippery, they're quiet, they're kind of assassins, maybe. We are many. And any talk of family among the others is cheap. We know each other by name. We attend the same festivals and reunions. We hunt and eat together, so we do. We're the biggest family there is among primals. Nobody thinks we're scary, not until they anger us. Not until we take wild form and show you how flippin' terrifying a horde of giant frogs with needle teeth can be. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, Team Frog. Skilled hunters. We track our prey and our desires better than anyone. Nobody's a better hunter than a Vodnik. We're masters of reconnaissance and blending in with the populace. That's us. It's as if when people see us, they want to look away. Something about us makes them want to ignore, want to forget. Use that. Listen to us tell you tales. We sing our songs and tell our stories. We know our history and the history of all accursed. We reach into history and pull it into the present with the things we find. You could learn a lot if you sat at my feet. Greed is an unfortunate end. As much as I hate to admit it, greed is the end of us all. I think it's a creature's doing, but as we get older, we get greedy. Not just looking for treasures, but holding them tight and never letting them go. They're still family, though, so you gotta respect them and give them what they want. Even if what they want is your entire stock and trade. Fuck. Let's see, relations. It's true that cats hunt fish, and they won't say no to a frog either, so that's why around the Sphinx you need to be a crab. Wait for the werecat to sniff at you before pinching his nose. We're not kippers on a plate for snacking. The way the 8 hands craft is hypnotic. Don't stare too long while they work. Sometimes they'll use the distraction to bind you in a web of lies. Admire the finished article instead and enjoy a pleasant transactional relationship. They buy from us, they sell to us. The raptors feared us once. Something happened in our past where our families clashed and never really recovered. Now, we feel the way the wind is blowing, and I prefer a feathered serpent to a hide in my nest. Our firmest friends on and off the hunt are the Get of Laika. I take great pleasure in entertaining werewolves, for I know they repay us with the choicest morsels. They rarely succumb to greed, preferring to share the spoils. The dead have a surprising nature I appreciate. Their ability to master hosts is stunning. If only I could move my mind to another body like they do. I make do with changing my face or not being seen. And I know why the outcasts are so frustrated. I would be too if my progenitor treated me like guano. Extend to them the hand of friendship, sing for them, and bring them solace to their tormented lives. Okay, cool. They're kind of chill, honestly. I mean, for self-proclaimed frog assassins, they're kind of chill. I'm gonna have to think about these guys a little bit during the coming ad break, which starts right now. Fish people. I believe we were talking about fish people. I like the fish people so far. The fish people are cool. The others call us gill folk if they're feeling ignorant. Anyone who knows us proper will call us vodnichi, and our territories swamplands. So they're not fish people, they're frog people. It's more of a frog thing. They're big on the frog imagery more than anything else. Interesting. The family calls itself Vodnik, as is right and proper. You don't have to like what forefather Vodyanik did to recognize it as true. It's our family name. Though there are regional variants, Vodyanoi, Hasterman, Vodyanik are all cousin families, and we can't fault them their name changes. We use our magic to seek out and obtain the ancient artifacts. Sounds like they like to jump to conclusions. Oh boy, here we go. Seek out and obtain the ancient artifacts we covet. Yes, boo. Our magic helps amplify our natural abilities in hunting and jumping. Wait. And the appraising of relics and mysteries, of course. And we do love paralyzing our targets with fear before jumping them or hopping. More than anything else, however, we use our magic for the purposes of remaining unseen. So even they'll make the jokes. They'll make the jokes. Look, if you are a frog person, you have two choices here. Either make the jokes yourself already, or kill everybody you meet, because they're gonna make the jokes. I'd rather they make the jokes. Just, you know. Let's see. So you get Esoterica, Larceny, and Ranged Combat. Cool. Surprising that social is their big thing, but I kind of get it. Private detectives, surveillance companies, docklands, arcades, antique stores, because they have a thing. So here's the thing. I mean, again, early stage stuff is missing, but like there's stuff about being a skilled hunter and family and stuff. Then there's the greed part. And then that kind of leads eventually to, ancient artifacts we covet. Like, I feel like that needed to be built up more. But I like the idea of a stealthy frog assassin, antiquarian kind of person, you know. I do dig it, but again, these are like they almost feel more like the kind of character concept that's more of an NPC than a PC, in a weird sort of way. I don't know if I'm explaining myself. It belongs in my underwater. It belongs in my aquarium. This belongs in an aquarium. Let's see. Secret spell, flowing movement. Your affinity in Major Path Inheritance, your affinity for finding what people need allows you to trade them their fondest wish. When seeking to acquire an item, you can bleed a curse dice to give yourself extra dots of wealth equal to your entanglement. This wealth represents not just money, but whatever it is the person desires, including information, dreams, and other esoteric wants. You may apply your wealth bonus to all influence actions against the person, even if they wouldn't be readily appropriate in your wild form. You can breathe underwater. I'm sorry, that just hit me. This whole detailed explanation about how apparently on top of everything else, you're a genie frog and you get like a mystical level of wealth that you can offer people to fulfill their wildest dreams in exchange for items. And by the way, you can breathe underwater. Sorry, forgot about that detail. Also, yeah, you can breathe underwater. Look, how can I put this? Let me look at the motifs real quick. Bleeding hold cost spells, a physical attunement is reduced by 1. Casting a spell is psychic. Bleed one initialized with the deprived status effect. Interesting. When casting spells with a support attunement, you may purchase the shockwave trick for 1 hit against enemies. Interesting. Play a Vodnik if you want to take on the role of a private eye, watching targets from afar. Appraise and hoard rare and forbidden relics. Strike quickly, quietly, and remove yourself from the scene before anyone notices. I mean, I like them. I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting maybe a little bit more eldritchness. I'm not complaining. I like what we got. It's very much it's frogs. They're very froggy. They're very froggy. I kind of want to play one. I kind of really want to play one, actually. I think I would have fun being a weird little frog dude with a collection of weird little frog toys. You know what? I may not. I don't know if I sounded like it as I was reading it, but I love that. I really like the Spawn of Vodnik. I want to play a Spawn of Vodnik. I don't want to play a Spawn of Vodnik more than I want to play an Ocho. Um, but once my Ocho inevitably dies, I want to play a Spawn of Vodnik. You were not expecting. I was not expecting to find two entire families within the primals that I actively want to play. But here we are. Werewolf is not one of them, but also I don't hate it. If for some reason I had to play a werewolf, a Get of Laika in this game, I would not collapse into a fetal position, which is what would happen if I had to play like Werewolf the Raging and Werewolf the Apocalypse. So like, yeah, not too shabby, not too shabby. Let us move on. Now we're looking at the Sphinx. Now, as a cat lover, I'm not going to call myself a cat owner because who among us can truly be said to own a cat? But as a cat lover and as someone fortunate enough to share his home, to be given the opportunity to share my home and my food and my shelter with a cat who has given me again that opportunity. And I consider myself very lucky. I'm excited to read about the Sphinx. They've been kind of built up as cats. Like everything that everybody keeps saying about them from the other families just feels like, so you're saying they're cats is what you're saying. And so I'm excited for these guys. So let's go. Pride in what you are is not a sin. Embrace the wild elements raging in your soul and look good while you do it, darling. That's what I do. Okay, I'm not gonna keep doing the arse, although I could, but I'm not. Anyway, just imagine it's a cat girl reading all this. Prepare to be underestimated, shunned, seen as weak, vapid, selfish. I've heard it all, and it makes me yawn. And then I scratch my critic's eyes out with a big smile on my face. And they say we were cursed to be at one with the cat. Oh, honey, if they only knew what they were missing, they'd want to be one of the Sphinx, too. Relax. The world isn't ending anytime soon, and our curses aren't going anywhere. Impetuous pussycats jump for mice. We hunker down like lions, stalk like tigers, snatch like panthers. We move fast when we want to. There's no need about it. No one compels me to do anything. It's in the blood. Daddy Sphinx, the great Pharaoh Khafre, was a naughty boy. It was his naughtiness, his lust, shall we say, that had him cursed by the cats with which he surrounded himself. And now that curse passes on and on and on. Look for beauty. There's plenty of it in the world, and most of it goes unclaimed or unrecognized by boorish wolves and venomous serpents. When it comes to carving up territory, we prize the places where prey comes to us. The rich, the famous, the aspiring dilettante. Why would I let some tourist own the city's best gallery? I could have so much fun hunting him through Central Park, scaring him back to buttfuck Iowa. The gallery is mine, princess. Safeguard their souls. They say cats once stole souls from the dead. That's the dead lowercase. I don't know much about that, but I know we're at home guarding cemeteries, protecting morgues, and sniffing out fresh corpses. Rather grotesque, really, but if it does give us some inner peace. It's tricky fitting in. Fine. I'll admit it's lonely being so damn fantastic. Sometimes you must lower yourself to rub coats with the others. It can even be fun, slumming it for a while. Just give yourself a good wash after. Conceal your feelings towards them. Honesty just makes interactions uncomfortable and not in an enjoyable way. Wearing a crown doesn't make you a pharaoh. Yes, I can feel the aged werecat elders sneaking around outside looking for a way to truncate my fabulousness so they can brandish some cheap imitation. We call them Tybalts, and they want to be worshipped like gods in their supposed ascendancy. My parents tell me I should be serving a prince of cats if I want to be one someday. It's sad and pathetic, truly. I do feel sorry for them being so old and ratty, but age gracefully, for heaven's sake. Endless creativity. The others so enjoy knocking down walls and cutting up enemies. Are we truly the only ones who recognize the wonder of creation? Of course, my attention span being what it is, I get 75% of the way through a project for wanting to tear it down and start all over again. Same, brother, same. Relations. The Ket of Laika are to us as dogs are to cats. Frequent enemies if you believe the media, but don't believe that nonsense. Yes, we're commonly occupying the same rug, squabbling over the toys and trinkets, but we're not pet dogs or house cats. Their wolves were tigers. Their jackals were lions. We might fight over territory, but in the end, we respect who earned what. The hides are abominations. You'll hear that a lot. Yes, I'll party with one. Yes, I'll hunt with one. But at their core, unlike ours, there's a gaping pit. We were cursed by the primal cat. They were cursed to have the human ripped out of them. Nothing was put in its place. Ooh, I love that take on the hides from leave it to the cats to be just. Raptors amuse me. It truly irritates them when we drift off in a cloud of daydreams as they talk. They have all kinds of delusions of us wanting to wrestle them to the ground and claw out their feathers. Well, I say delusions. I've only succumbed once or twice. I had a wonderful conversation with an Ocho. She spoke about building a web to snare curses before they could reach her and her friends. What a trick. I consider myself cat, do not claw. I love you. I love you, sweetheart. I'm going to pick you up. I'm going to show you to the people. I'm going to show you to the people if you don't stop clawing at my bag. Sorry, folks. My cat found my backpack and decided that it was the perfect thing to scratch her claws on. Don't get off. Off? No, don't get immediately back on. No, you're doing it in front of me. No, don't. Jesus Christ, cat. Stop that. Don't. This is backpack. Why? No. Here. She can tell I'm talking about. You know what? Hey, sweetheart. Oh, you asked for this. You asked for this, sweetheart. Oh, yeah, she asked for this. She's like, you're talking about the cats. You're talking about the cats. I'm a cat. I should be on screen. I should be the only cat. Esme Gremlin hours. Yes. You're embarrassing daddy in front of the internet. Yes, like she could tell. She's like, we are talking about the cat shifters, and there we go. There we go. Enough of that, sweetheart. Look here. There we go. See, kibbles. There's still some kibble in your tower. Go hunt for kibble. I had a wonderful comment. There we go. What a trick. I consider myself a queen of the weave, but I'd love to see some of these spiders at work. Perhaps not in their territory. Look, I get hungry too, but I don't go around calling it a curse. The hungry should do what I do. Find someone who likes them and wait for food. And if the food doesn't come, steal it. Ah, I see the problem. Nobody likes them. Well, stop moaning and get thieving. I don't know any primals who chose to be this way, but the sorcerers? I understand they took their curses willingly. What arrogance. I almost admire it. I want to know why they're so damn confident. How do they know that we do not? Others call us sphinxes, but they're ignorant and wrong. Crude bastards call us mogs, but not for long. As for werecats, I can live with that. We call ourselves the Proud, or simply the Sphinx. We're a pride with pride, and I love pride. It's not complicated. Our elders call themselves Tybalts, call them Tibberts to highlight their pretension. We use our magic to make our lives better, to hoard treasures we deserve and nobody else would treat properly, and to have fun with our prey. We're born hunters, darling. Our spells help us bob, duck, weave, and yes, scratch. Have you ever seen a sphinx pounce? No, because we're three things. Too damn fast. Yes, cats. Pat skills, artistry, larceny, and persuasion. Yes, checks out. Social all the way. Access to art galleries, actors, the upper crust parties, and jewelry stores. Secret spell overload. I cannot wait to look at the spell. I think they released some of the spell stuff today, actually. So hopefully we'll see those next week at this rate. Major path inheritance. You know exactly how to rub people the right way or exactly the wrong way. Once per scene, you may choose a single individual in the scene to temporarily increase your bond rating with by 1 step. You may use a bond enhancement from that bond to apply to any action you take, even if they aren't helping you. So I'm real curious about this, as I was actually thinking about that earlier today. I spent my morning, I went out to the park, because it's lovely again in New York City today. Absolutely lovely. If I wasn't doing the stream, I'd probably be outside again. Actually, maybe not, because it's warmed up. It's gonna almost reach 80, and once it goes over the mid 70s, I don't want to be outside anymore. I'm a delicate flower, but also still way too warm for the end of October. Yeah, I should not be nearly 80 degrees out. But this morning was so good. I mean, sure the world is ending, but I may as well take advantage of the mild October morning. So I went out to the park. I went out to Astoria Park this morning, and I took my iPad with me, and I read some more. I was reading, some more Monster of the Week, and checking, the other books and getting ideas and whatnot, and it kind of hit me as I'm kind of going through it and getting more into the vibe of Powered by the Apocalypse style games, and then the way you perceive the stuff in them, and it kind of struck me that Hunter Monster of the Week doesn't really have, like, there are connections between characters and there are specific playbooks that have some kind of like relationship connection mechanic with others, but it's not as default as with some other Powered by the Apocalypse games, where there are these sort of constant threads of connection and of bonds that are being traded back and forth and broken and reinforced and whatnot. And I admit that I tend to have a bit of trouble with relationship mechanics in games. I could have just left that with, I confess, I tend to have a bit of trouble with relationships. I just cut it off there, and still appropriate, still unfortunately perhaps a bit too accurate. But in games, I tend to instinctively balk at the idea of quantizing relationships. I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way. I'm not entirely opposed to it, and like in games, the idea of, like, especially like an NPC having something like, a basic table of dispositions and kind of like the difficulties and sort of paths that a negotiation might take if somebody's coming from a different disposition, and what your different skills might have, like something like that, a systemization of negotiation and relationships. I don't entirely mind it, but for some reason I've just always have a bit of a problem with mechanics that are about just like, oh, I have a second level of bond with you. The one game that I saw that did that and I didn't mind it was Fabula Ultima. Fabula Ultima is another game that I really would love to run. And if you've never heard of Fabula Ultima, it is a tabletop RPG based around sort of JRPG mechanics and ideas. um, and it's really good at that. It's really good at what it sets out to do. And in character creation, in that one, you do take some time to create bonds, and throughout the game you keep track of bonds, not just to other party members but to enemies, to things, to places. um, but these bonds are always one-sided, um, because they do not affect the target of your bond. They're about you. They're about how you feel about the thing that you are bonded, the person you are bonded to. And also they can be negative. So you can have like a bond of anger or a bond of hatred against like the big bad of the campaign, but a bond of friendship with somebody else in the group, and maybe a bond of envy with somebody else, because they're stronger than you and you wish you were as strong as them. And the fact that you have that bond of envy with them does not obligate them in any way, shape, or form to have any kind of bond back to you. They might not know you exist, right? I like that level of like the bonds affect the person with the bond. Like it affects, it's about how I feel about you. I am not imposing anything on you. When I don't gain control or influence over you when I add bonds. The bonds are about how I feel. um, and you know, the mechanics kind of go around that. But in this case, the bond ratings and the bond steps, yeah, the bond ratings are sort of meant to represent how people feel about you, I guess, and the connection level that you have with them, and will affect, you know, here's the thing, like, yeah, here's an ability, it's a power that lets you modify that bond power, and so therefore will affect how other people react to you, which is cool. Which, you know, fine for a game system. I don't mind it if it only applies to NPCs. I worry, and I think that's my problem with all Power by the Apocalypse games, that they seem to impose relationship mechanics on other players, and I'm always going to feel a little squicked if the game lets me at any point spend a token, roll some dice, activate an ability, whatever it is, and be able to turn to another player at the table and go like, and now your character likes me, or now your character thinks this about me, or now your character wants to kiss me, or anything like that. Anything where I dictate to you how your character feels about mine or about anything else. I mean, look, I've gone over this when I'm done my game design stuff. I don't like mind control in general, and too many games have treated stuff like a persuasion roll as if it was basically mind control. It's like, oh, I rolled an nat 20 in my persuasion roll. Okay, I guess these guards just let you into the building with all your weapons then. Like, no, there's no amount of fucking nat 20s that are going to let the guards and your murder hobo friends into this building without a fucking fight. Unless you really like, no, it's not. I don't care how good you roll. Tell me what you actually did. How do you trick them? You know, I'm not gonna make that up for you. Like, it's yeah. Those rules get house ruled, exactly. But so I always like, I always worry. All of this to say that I always worry about game mechanics that are about bonds. But I haven't seen the bond system yet, so I don't know yet whether I hate it or not. Instinctively, I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical about this. Yeah, Arvel is, but I rolled. Like, no, then you don't get to roll. Tell me what you're doing. So that's one thing that I like about and that I'm increasingly growing to like about Powered by the Apocalypse games. The more I read about Monster of the Week, that you can't just simply like roll a die and go like, all right, well, cool, like I rolled this, so this is the result I get. It's very much like, no, you tell me what you are doing. Tell me what you are doing and describe the action, and then I go like, okay, that sounds like you are doing blah, like you've triggered this move by doing that. But you don't just go like, I am triggering my influence the people move. No. Tell me what you're doing. okay, well, I go up in front of the crowd and I put out a speech in which, okay, what do you tell them? I tell them blah blah blah, and I talk about these topics, and I bring in the fact that they all know that there's a monster. We all saw it outside, and that we need to work together. Blah 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 blah. Cool, great. Sounds like you're trying to influence the crowd. Roll plus cool, or that sort of stuff. Let's see. That's a knowing Onyx path. The bond won't work as mind control and will allow for reasonable reactions and players. I hope so. I certainly hope so. Also, that's the session zero state of the game decision, so that everyone understands the sort of scenarios before or immediately after such an event may happen. No, true. As I said, we'll see. Let's see what the system is like. I may be worrying about nothing, but I have run into those systems before, and definitely it is a session zero kind of thing where I've house ruled that in many games, like. Like, hey, persuasion rolls and stuff like that, and charisma bonuses and all that, that's for NPCs. Between characters, role play it out. You cannot control somebody else's character with your powers. I feel like these might work like context in a cyberpunk style game. That's also a good, yeah, like I said, with NPCs, I don't mind, man. When it comes to NPCs, yeah, like, we're playing a game, systematize it. I worry about any mechanic that is going to let me roll a die or spend a point and let me turn around to the table and tell another player how their character feels or is going to act. Within limits. Look, I actually don't mind if there are spells that are mind control, but that it is sort of like a sort of zombie kind of state. But even then, it's kind of, I don't know, man. I don't know how I don't 100% how to explain it right now, but it is mostly that whole, like, between players, it's too easy to let those mechanics become abusive between players. That said, if you got a gaming group where you've managed to talk it out and you're all on the same page, like I've run a game of Die RPG. One of the character classes is the Dictator, and the Dictator, they make a whole point of saying, like, hey, talk this out with your friends, because the Dictator's whole thing is that they control people with their voice, and their powers are, outright stated, like, yeah, they work on other players, they work on anyone and anything, and there are other character classes that actually gain benefits that would interact with a dictator, controlling their emotions, controlling their actions and everything. But it has to be addressed. It is addressed very clearly. It's like, hey, talk to your players very clearly about this. In fact, one of the first things they say is decide, are you even going to have the dictator character type in the game? Are you going to allow this character type at all? And then if you're going to allow it, are you going to allow the power to work on other player characters, or are we just going to agree at the table right now that only on NPCs, or that sort of thing? Like, they have to make a point of it, because it can be something. And again, I've seen it at tables happen. There are some players that will try and take advantage of a game system to effectively force other players to play in certain ways, and I never want to see that at any of my tables. And on that note, with those curious and warm and bright thoughts, I'm gonna just go ahead and let the blinding light of commercials and capitalism wash all that away for the next minute and a half. We'll be right back. All right, we back. We are discussing mind. Well, we were discussing mind control. Not that that really matters right now. We are going to look at. I mean, look. Okay, let's finish up the sphinxes. We got distracted because cats happened. Cats do tend to happen. It is a thing. We are fans of that. Let's finish this up. So yeah, and this all came because the cats, the werecats, the Sphinx, have the ability to modify these bond mechanics. So I'm curious to see what the bond mechanics will look like once we get to those rules. I am nervous as always of any kind of mixed social bond mechanic in games, but I'm curious to see what they do. I think Onyx Path, as Potato mentioned, Onyx Path tends to have a better track record than some of the stuff from the 90s. Let's see. So when casting a spell with the attune with the blank attune, okay, so we don't know what this is, again, unfinished. We're missing. Hey, Phoenix, welcome in. Well, you missed the cat, unfortunately. Alas, you missed the cat. I will give you not my cat, but just here. There we go. Just a cat, to make up for that. Yeah, truly tragic. And also, we've been talking about the cats, the frog peoples, and some raptors. Exactly, Strugglebus. Frog people are good. Frog people got a. They are the Vodnik. The frog people got a full wow from me. They are frog people. They are assassins. They like they hunt and they grab stuff and they are cool. And they hop. And there are a few frog puns in there, so I appreciate that. The raptors were the birds and the snakes and reptiles in general, and there is definitely a sort of First Peoples vibe to them, which we dig. What was it? The other ones. The hides. The hides are cool. The hides are weird. The hides are fucked up. They basically these are the werewolves, right? And we saw the werewolves. The hides are basically, instead of an animal, they just kind of regress to an earlier side of humanity, sort of a more Neanderthal kind of side, which is wild. But also, like, the way some others talked about them, there is like something off about them as primals, in the sense that the other primals, like, basically have this creature inside of them, while the hides, the creature is more of a, it says it here, like the void inside. Why is it when we shift to our wild form we feel agony? There should be euphoria, but it feels like we're passing far through a portion of our skin. It's like we're feeling it in itself, finding it ugly. Put it upon your mind. This is power. We should embrace it and discover what we can. Anyway, point is that the hides are off. And the vibes are off with the hides, which we kind of dig. But yeah, we're having a good time. We're glad you're able to join us, Phoenix. So we met the spawn. We met the cats. The cats are assholes. We love them. They know they're in charge. They're the social beasts, and they are unfinished because when casting spells with the attunement, bleed one additional curse die to apply the effect to the second target. Okay, sure. This is probably emotional, or maybe I don't know. Probably emotional, some version of this. We'll see. So reading on the bonds, a later chapter that describes them, you get bonus dice and rolls to convince them if positive bond, or aggravate them negative bond. There's more to it, but that's very quick. Yeah, no, okay, that checks out. Listen, my worry is always just, again, with other player characters more than anything else. Let's see. When casting a spell with the emotional attunement, bleed one additional curse die to apply the crestfallen status effect to the target. When casting a spell with the meh attunement, bleed one fewer curse die to... Okay, whatever those are. Let's see. Play a Sphinx if you want to seek and seize the luxuries life has to offer. Play the silent hunter who strikes and retreats, or be the benevolent patron of other less extravagant accursed. I kind of dig that. Okay, so the creature between... Oh, okay, so the practice... So they're called maelstrom. The practices for the primals are called maelstroms. The creature inside each primal grants her access to a literal force of nature, Primals draw their magic from their attunement to nature, elemental forces, and their barely contained fury. They refer to this magic as a maelstrom, alluding to both the elemental forces and the feeling of attempting to quell the creature. Primals have access to 3 maelstroms. Below each, we have listed the spells available in character creation, with a short description of the spell and a page number where you can find the full write-up. Okay, so mutable form. So I kind of like the I like this concept that all primals have a base shift, right? You have a human form and you have a wild form, which is a bestial primal version of your animal, or of your hide of your Neanderthal or whatever version. And then from there, you can go in whichever direction you want. If you want to be the kind of person, the kind of shifter that is adopting specific traits, or if you want to be a particularly tough shifter, like, you basically then pick and choose. I kind of dig that. I like that the rest of the shape-shifting stuff comes from, basically it's a skill. It's a skill. It's something that, like, you have to work for, and so that might be a thing you specialize in, that you're particularly good at the shifting. I do appreciate that approach. Let's see. Mutable form allows the primal to shapeshift with more nuance and control than simply adopting the well form. These spells give the primal the ability to adopt terrifying features, body size, and structure. So, aspect of the beast, adopt animalistic traits and features, bestial voice, intimidate and stir others with your primal voice, force of nature, confer a power advantage, elemental tag to one of your attacks, impenetrable skin, develop a thick hide or shell of armor, and precise transformation, dramatically alter one or more parts of your body. Good stuff. Good stuff. I like this. You can pick this up depending on the kind of shifter that you want to be. Let's see. Deathless Fury. Deathless Fury enables primals to change mastery over their eternal primeval rage. To channel mastery over their eternal primeval rage, with which they can channel destructive attacks to break the will of their prey. The spells are horrifying to behold. Let's see. Berserker's Focus. Ignores injuries and distractions in battle. Master of Beasts. Summon a range of beasts to your side. Pack Leader. Encourage your allies to ignore hazardous area effects. Predator's Roar. With a rousing command, you compel your allies to make devastating attacks. Scent of Danger. Create an aura that tells people you're too dangerous to mess with. Interesting. So it's weird that these spells are horrifying to behold. Channel destructive attacks. And then it's mostly crowd control. It's mostly encourage your allies, compel your allies to, like, you're buffing. It's a support role. The description made it sound more like an attack role, and we're talking about, at least the stuff you get at character generation, very much a support role, which I dig. And we've established I like support. I like playing support. But it is kind of a surprise that after that description, what we get is support powers. The Stranger. The primal are as much an elemental force as they are a bestial one, with the power of unseen nature that control emotions and mysteries, nature, and conflict. Interesting. Disturbance, disrupt social situations, create chaos, hidden things, spot that which is concealed, nightmares, lock a target into a state of tortured unconsciousness, silver tongue, influence others with lies, mortal manipulation, unreality, trick onlookers into believing something that isn't real. Interesting. So a sort of trickster-ish power of unseen nature, the control emotions and mysteries, nature, and conflict. Interesting approach here. So the thing I like the most is the mutable form. Everything else is cool, but weirdly unfocused is the word I'm looking. I don't know. I mean, again, this is also the first set of powers. Maybe later in Deathless Fury, there's more direct attacks. The Stranger, I like it, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. It's one of the base power sets for all primals. Yeah, no, this does fit. I'm going through my head on all the primals, and yeah, they all would have a use for a lot of this stuff. So, okay, I don't mind this. Look, we're finished the primals. We did it. We still have the second half of the stream, and we made it through the primals. And now I have to find the next PDF. And in fact, while I do that, let's just kind of leave that on screen while I do that, and let's think about the primals just for a bit while I go on to While I check out the Kickstarter real quick and download the next Curseborne PDF. Where's my browser? There's my browser. Where's Kickstarter? Let's see. So yeah, the Primals are. They were a surprise. I was surprised at how much I overall like the Primals. I like what they do. I'm not 100% in love with it. Like, they didn't absolutely wow me. They didn't, it didn't go like, oh my God, this is now everything. You know what? I take it back. All I want is Primals from now on forever, or anything like that. On the contrary, I think to a certain point, again, look, we're going to be um, we're going to be getting more information about them, right? We're going to be getting more information about everything. This is early stuff. I think that once we get more information about them, we're going to see a lot more detail, and I'm probably going to see a few of the things that I didn't like probably get fixed, or at the very least fleshed out to the point where they make sense. So the worst I can say about them right now is just that they didn't blow me away, but within that, they're cool. I actually liked them a lot. Let's see, did it download to the right folder? Yes, there we go. I liked it a lot. I thought, look at sources for a second. I thought there's a lot of fun stuff you can do. There's a lot of fun stuff you can do. I don't see myself playing anything except maybe the 8 hands in place of stuff from the Outcasts or even the Hungry or Dead. Like, I think at this point, the Primals are still my least favorite of the bunch overall. But that doesn't mean they're bad. It's just that I've really liked the other ones. But for once, I don't hate the Primals. I wouldn't even say I'm ambivalent. I like them. I just like the others more. But I could totally play a Primal. I could pick one up. I could play one. It wouldn't ravage me with cognitive dissonance as it would if I tried to play an Apocalypse character. So overall, cool. Overall, very fun. I'm gonna go ahead, and despite the fact they didn't actually wow me, I'm gonna go ahead and give them a wow. I'm gonna go ahead and give them a full cheer, because honestly, considering where we came from, considering my burning rage, my burning just near incoherent hatred of Werewolf the Apocalypse. We started our expectations were rock bottom. So considering all that, yeah, definitely a wow moment in that. Getting me to just not hate it is an amazing achievement. Well done, Curseborne team. You should celebrate this one. You've earned it. But with that, we're gonna look at the 5th, and I believe this final lineage. Right? Let me see. Are there any more lineages after this? I think sorcerers are the last one. After that, we're getting. Let's see. The next stuff that's coming out. By the way, just to let you know, already came out, already available are obviously everything we've seen so far, including sorcerers. And then the next preview after that, which came out on October 3rd, 21st, was the actual Story Path Ultra system document, and making a character generation, making an accursed. So cool. We're gonna see that. I don't know. Let's see how far we get on sorcerers. I don't think we're gonna finish sorcerers today, but we might start seeing it tomorrow. Then after that, which was released today, was the one on accursed magic. So that's where we're going to hopefully see all the actual magic powers and effects that I keep saying, like, well, what is that? What does that do? And we'll probably then be referring back to a lot of them. So we'll go back to the lineages and go like, oh, that's what that power does. Okay, it's actually a really cool fit. Or what the fuck were they thinking with this one? We'll see. So I'm excited for the accursed magic that just came out today. And then there's two more after that. On October 25th, they are releasing the story guiding chapter. So that one's probably, yeah, well, I'm curious to see that one. And then finally, a Manuscript Preview 6 will be Antagonists on October 29th, which is the week after next, I believe, yeah? No, the week, no, it's next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, next Tuesday, yeah. So I think we might actually, based on what I'm seeing here, we might actually like wrap up with this on Halloween on Thursday the 31st. I could see that happening. That's not planned that way, but I think that's how it's gonna work out. But for now, let's look at the sorcerers. I'm real curious about the sorcerers. The sorcerers, everybody keeps talking about how they're the one curses that chose to be cursed. They hey, Afreitas, hey, welcome in, buddy. Welcome in, my friend, and thank you. How's the weather down there? How is the island doing? I know I haven't been there in a couple of years, and I don't know when I'm going to be able to go back down because I don't have the cash to fly. Too hot. All right, cool. No worries. You know what? It's almost 80 degrees up here today, and it's October. The world is ending. We're fucked. Welcome in, buddy. Welcome in. I'm going to tell you. I love Puerto Rico. I love. Yes, thank you. I'm glad you like it. Curses. If you actually, you know what? If you have the points for it on the chat, there is an action. There are actions for people to summon Skeletor and a couple of the other stuff. But I love the island. I love Puerto Rico, and I cannot wait to go back and visit my family at some point soon and all that. But also, I like the cold. I like it when it's cold. Okay, I spent the first 30 years of my life down in Puerto Rico. I got enough summer heat all year long, and now I want to be cold for the remainder of my life, whenever possible. I mean, not to be said, like New York City summers are fucking brutal. If anything, they're actually worse in their own way. Puerto Rico is hotter, but in their own way, there is a mugginess and a disgustingness to New York City summers that, and at least in Puerto Rico, we have good beaches. Whenever I see people go into a beach, any northern beach, any U.S. northern beach, and that includes every beach in New York, let me be very clear. I don't. Those are not beaches. Why are people getting into that water? That's not right. I grew up in Puerto Rico. We were surrounded by fucking just the most beautiful beaches in the goddamn planet. You can't point me at fucking Coney Island and tell me, hey, get in that. No. You get out. You're not supposed to be in that water. Nobody's supposed to be in that water. West Coast does have some good beaches. True. But still, the further north you go, no. But East Coast beaches, fuck. Especially northern beaches, no. Hot dog water. Cursed water, New York, enchanted waters. That's true. It's true. New York waters are absolutely cursed. Puerto Rican waters are absolutely enchanted. Yeah. But also, look, I like the cold. I'm a weirdo that way. Anyway, welcome in, buddy. Glad to have you. Look, I'm gonna look at these guys. I'm gonna look at the sorcerers. Let's see, class lineage sorcerers. Let's look. We're meeting Leonard Kron from the Premier family. Let's see. Cursed. Actually, no. Not now. We have it. It's all cursed water in New York City. Let's see. Let me guess. Oh wait, no. Let's look. Let me hydrate a bit. I'm going to be reading out more stuff. The sorcerers. The laws of physics have no hold here. For every magical action, there is no equal and opposite reaction. Instead, there are escalating consequences on what you're willing to live with. Leonard Kron, Premier family. Let me guess and tell me if I'm close. You were tricked. You didn't ask for a lot, and what you got was so much more than you bargained for. You expected equal exchange, a quid pro quo, and instead got the crap end of a shitty deal and didn't even get what you were owed. Someone else fucked it up, and now you have to live with the consequences. You thought if you did exactly as you were told, you'd come out the other side all good. Of course, you planned to use the power for good. You were supposed to change the world. God, get over yourself. I'm Kai, and I'm here to help you get a grip before bad things happen. A few important things before I get into it. First, magic is real, it's incredibly powerful, and if you don't want to accidentally kill yourself, you'll learn to respect it. Fast. Even if you do want to kill yourself, who am I to judge? Magic isn't the way to do it. You're just as likely to kill everyone you love as you are to get yourself. Next, you can't get out of this by just not engaging. I'd love that for us, but instead you're always itching to cast a spell. Sooner or later you're gonna need magic, and it's always right there, waiting. Finally, don't get too attached to anything in your life. Permanence isn't for you anymore. With that settled, here's the rundown I never got and wish I had. You're a sorcerer. Just like it sounds, you are a spell slinger with a nearly infinite source of magic. You're also cursed to always give more than you get back. I know you're thinking that's life, and it is. But it's also your curse. Here's how it works. Anyone can cast magic. You build up enough energy, pull the right thread, and poof, something happens. That takes a lot of work for not much payoff. It works the same way for sorcerers, except we have more energy than most people and get far better results. The way we build that energy is sacrificing something meaningful to us. It could be a burnt offering, a blood sacrifice, your health and well-being, or something or someone you care about. The curse doesn't care. We haven't always had access to this powerful magic. At some point, someone made a deal with the Fae, a fickle group of magical creatures, for theirs. And from there, the stories don't line up. There's a version that says that the Fae decided they didn't like us casting magic and they cursed us. Another has the Fae tricking us into a deal where we got their curse along with their magic. One indicates that some people killed all the Fae to take their magic and their dying breath cursed us. Who's to say? Certainly not the Fae, because they aren't around. I wouldn't be surprised if it was in a book moldering in someone's attic because no one shares shit with anyone. I'm not saying every sorcerer you meet is a stuck-up asshole, but I'm not saying that. What can I say? We like our secrets. Look, you're with me because you need some hand-holding before you can have a real glow-up. Some of us are born into magic from long lineages of proud sorcerers who happily pass their curse down the line to the next generation of spellcasters. Some of us woke up one morning able to cast magic and unsure what the fuck happened the night before. If you're like me, you sought that shit out, not understanding what the price would be. Alright, I like this approach to magic. I like this approach to sorcery. Let's see, the most important part is magic. I see it down there. So here's the only concern that I have going in, right? Again, comparing it to what has come before, comparing it to the World of Darkness stuff, which, given everything, gotta run for a minute. No worries, like a potato. Take care. Hope you're able to make it back, and if not, we'll see you tomorrow. But with Mage, like old World of Darkness and even New World of Darkness Mage, their power sets are very different. Like all the other supernatural types, as a general rule, have like defined powers and defined categories and whatnot. And so do mages, right? Mages have defined categories and stuff, but their way of casting spells and creating things is very different. They don't just go, I'm using level 3 of Obtenebration, for example. No, they're like, okay, I have access to these spheres. I have access to the sphere of correspondence and the sphere of matter. And with those two spheres, my magical understanding of matter, my magical understanding of correspondence and space and time allow me to use those to craft a spell that will let me teleport this mug from here to here. And there is this sort of building, and this works because well, in Old World Darkness Mage, because I understand that my paradigm is such that because I did this, and this, and I understand this, and that, that becomes possible within my paradigm, and therefore I do it. I impose my paradigm upon reality, and reality resists, there's paradox, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. Big system for mage, for old school mage. New school mage still had a lot of that, a lot of flexible spellcasting, but they kind of toned it down a little. They made it so this whole Atlantis thing. I really should reread Mage the Awakening. It had some good ideas, but one of them was that, like, yeah, there were more common spells. You could still have that flexibility, though, even within the more list of spells kind of thing, you had that flexibility. So here I suspect we're going to see a lot like the list of spells, but I'm curious to see what we're going to see in terms of freelance spell casting. Is that a thing that we're going to get? Are we going to be, is there going to be the kind of magic that we're used to seeing with the other mage types in previous games? Let's see where it takes us. Let's see. So, guys, introduction to sorcerers explains what it is to be a sorcerer in their own words. If you want to flip around and see mechanics, explain sorcery. So there's a page number, blah, blah. So ritual sacrifice. So cool. Sorcery has a price always, a sacrifice price. The mechanics, the nominations and torments. Then we'll see the family. So we've got the archivists, the faceless, the network, the premier, the reeves, and the unburdened. And then we'll see magic in the end, the practices. So excited for that. Let's see. And then we got the most important part is magic. We're like normal people. We are like other accursed either. Let's talk about damnation, sacrifices, etc., etc. Okay. We're gonna dive into that, but let's see where we're at. We are 2 hours in. Cool. I think we can. Well, I don't know if we're gonna finish sorcerers in the last hour, but we are going to get pretty goddamn far into them, I suspect, and we will do that right after we get back from these messages. Look, right, Twitch, you know what it is. It's time for ads, so I'm just going to run those real quick. We'll be back in a minute and a half. Yeah, we're back. Hey, folks, I just got an email. So tomorrow's stream may end early, actually, or it may start early. I may do an earlier stream. I don't know. Keep an eye on my socials, where I will announce what's gonna happen, because I have a thing I need to attend. It's a webinar that I need to attend at 4. Look, I've told you people, I'm trying to make an actual honest run at this whole thing, and that's required me to go to some like business stuff, and so apparently I completely forgotten that tomorrow I have a webinar that I need to attend at 4 p.m. That's annoying. So I may either start my stream earlier or rejigger the time. We'll figure it out. But there will be a stream tomorrow regardless. Don't worry. Don't you worry about that. There will be streaming, but definitely it's gonna be exciting because I do need to make it to that thing. Oh well. Anyway, folks, we are back, and the most important thing for sorcerers, because that's what we're doing here. We're back with Curseborne. Most important thing is magic. When I say anyone, please remember us when you are more famous. No, of course. I mean, look, the whole point is that there will be more of this. Y'all are in on the ground floor of what will surely become an empire of entertainment options, all centering around me. That is what I plan to offer to the world, because it's what the world is missing, clearly. There are secrets in this world that most people know in the back of their head but never confront. Magic is one of them. We see and do magic all the time without thinking about it. Here's an example. You get your money... See, professional. You get your morning coffee. 2 shots of espresso, a pump of vanilla, a pump of hazelnut, soy milk, no foam, and a caramel drizzle. It's part of a ritual. You rattle off your incantation, the barista makes your 2-sweet confection, you pay far too much money, and 2 hours later, you sit with the dregs at your office desk. This ritual gives you a little boost of good cheer. Maybe that carries you through the rest of the day. It's mid as far as magic goes, but it works. You start to put more of yourself into the magic, put more intention into it, and you get a little more out of it. Let's say you do the coffee ritual, but instead of drinking it and getting all that sugar and caffeine to brighten your day, you pour your coffee out with the intention to make someone else's day worse. Your day isn't shot, you still did your ritual, but soon after you pour, your ex spills their coffee in their car. You did that, and you're likely to get a massive headache after. You probably think it's all coincidence. It isn't. Nothing that happens in this world is coincidence. It's all stray magic finding a home. And we can direct it if we try hard enough. You'll hear other lineages calling it a curse, and in a way, it is. Anyone can make a sacrifice with an intention and move magic around. The effects are always small things, stuff you could write off as particularly good or bad luck, or maybe just coincidence. But here's where sorcerers are different. When I buy my overpriced coffee as my morning ritual, I don't just have a brighter day. I can set a house on fire just by snapping my fingers. So that might be a bit of a hyperbole, but I can definitely throw fire around. We aren't like normal people. Okay, we're the most like normal of all the accursed. Sorcerers look and act just like a regular person, except that we can cast magic better than them, and we pay a higher price. That's it. That's the difference. When I put it that way, we sound downright prosaic, except when we do our magic, our curse is ready and waiting to burn the world down around us, meaning we're nothing like them. I think it's easy to spot sorcerers. Every power-hungry, inquisitive, mad lad who's ever existed throughout history was likely a sorcerer. Merlin is probably the most famous sorcerer, but there's more. Saint Germain, sorcerer. John Dee, sorcerer. Rasputin, sorcerer. I could go on, but I think you get my point. We sure are cursed, though. You might be thinking that being able to cast powerful magic is a sweet deal, and yeah, it does sound that way. Let's be real, magic is lit. But having a literal burning desire to cast magic all the time isn't a vibe. Oh my god. I'm suffering psychic damage from reading this. And I don't use the word lit, but I do talk about the vibes. But I'm usually ironic about it. What's even worse is the knowledge that if you lose even a modicum of control over it, the magic will eat you up from the outside in. Let's keep the coffee metaphor going. Skibbity. Jesus Christ. You know, the funny part about fucking Skibbity Toilet, let me tell you something about Skibbity Toilet. I was watching that shit before all of a sudden, okay, fuck you, Gen C. I was watching this fucking Skibbity Toilet. You don't know. You don't know the places I go to in the internet. I grew up with this shit, okay? I was browsing Gopher pages back in the day. I have seen things, my friend. I have seen things, and I am still there. All right? I had seen those fucking Skibbity Toilet videos before it became a fucking thing. When they were first coming out, I was like, what the fuck is this? It's amazing though, and I'm high as balls. Let it play. I had seen it. And then all of a sudden, Gen Alpha and Gen C, or especially Gen Alpha, it gets a thing, and all of a sudden people are talking about it, and like Skibbity is now like the fucking Skibbity Ohio. Look, I, no, but yes, I don't care. I don't care, right? Look, this is not the cyberpunk future I was promised, but it's the one we're fucking getting. Um, I really, really miss Usenet news groups. Yeah, you know, there's still a thing. There's still a thing. You can still subscribe to Usenet. Um, but also there have been advancements. There have been advancements to something. I could talk about. Look, due to budgetary constraints, I have relearned that to be a pirate is to be free. Yo ho yo ho. There are services out there now. It is, man, getting your hands on booty. Let's just put it that way. Back in my day, required fucking effort. It is so easy these days. Y'all are spoiled. I mean, I'm not gonna complain. I'm not saying like, y'all should have to do it the way I used. No. The way I used to have to do it fucking sucked. Like, y'all are spoiled. Holy shit. Look up. Okay, I'll leave it at this. Look up Stremio, Stremio, and then just go from there. Um, yeah, it was a lot harder back then. It's a lot easier now. It's a lot easier. If you are done with paying Netflix, and I suggest you should be, because fuck them, look up Stremio. And look up something like Debrid, Debrid, one of those services. I use one called Real Debrid. Super cheap. Don't have to use a VPN. In a nutshell, basically what it is a service that converts torrent links to simple HTTPS links that are encrypted, but just simple HTTPS, so you can download on any device. You don't need an app for it. You just need the link. Then Stremio is an app that actually gathers all those links, puts them together in a beautiful interface. Look, point is, it's so much easier these days. All of this from the fact that they're making millennial jokes. This is why I'm like, I don't know if we're gonna get very far in this document, because I keep doing this. I don't know. You people keep tuning in though. People keep tuning in, so I guess I'll keep doing it. Let's keep the coffee metaphor going. That morning ritual I described. You start doing it every day, and it loses some of its flair. It goes from a way to brighten your day into a routine. You need to even have an aggressively midday. If you rush out of the house too fast and miss your coffee, you drag all day, and it shows. You start to need more each time you do it to get the boosting effect. And that's the problem with magic. The more you do it, the more you need to put into it to get the same effect. That's mortal magic. Sorcerers don't use mortal magic anymore. We use cursed magic. The principle is the same. You put something in, you get something out. But the cost and effect are wildly different, and we need to keep doing it to even function properly. Historically speaking, sorcerers aren't good at moderation. It's one of those things that's hard for anyone, but especially hard when you have a curse born of greed and hubris powering through you. So magic becomes routine. And the cost is whatever you're willing to sacrifice to do it. We aren't like other accursed either. We aren't dead, undead, otherworldly, or inhuman. We're just assholes. The other accursed suffer under a curse that changes their fundamental nature, making them into monstrous beings, literal monsters that a curse has its tendrils in deep, physically altering them. We don't have that. You suppose that doesn't make us monsters? Bet. You can't hold on to the level of knowledge and power we have at our disposal without becoming a monster. You can fight against it, but it's still there. We fit in with them all just fine. Monsters, all of us. We all have to make our place in this world. The dead party and empathize, the hungry lead and control, the outcasts tempt and fight, the primal fight and fuck, and we research and plan. I know that sounds kind of boring, and maybe it isn't even you. I know I wasn't a sit down and read a book fella before I became a sorcerer. I was more of a let people tell me how it works gal. But you need far more than that to learn a spell, and soon I was hyperfixating like the rest of them. Other accursed accuse us of being control freaks. They're wrong. We live a life on the edge, barely holding on, always one step away from disaster. Okay, yes, the most common cope is to exert control over the things you have power over. Look, my planning skills are exquisite, and my meticulous calendar is literally the only thing keeping my polycule together. They can lay the fuck off. It isn't like the role doesn't need doing. You'd be shocked at how impulsive the dead can be, or how timid the outcasts really are. For all their institutional knowledge, the hungry are shit at keeping accurate records. It kind of falls to us, and because we get so deep into the dark web conspiracy bullshit all on our own, it isn't like we mind. And it means that when you and your crew go do something, you'll know for certain all the ways it could go wrong, and ensure you got yourself covered. Let's talk about damnation. I think the best way to understand what you are is to know the constraints you're under. I've used metaphor to explain it, but I think I really need to drive this home. Your curse will destroy everything you love, and eventually you, if you let it. You don't have a ton of control over that, but there are ways to cope. First, our curse. As sorcerers, we are cursed to need magic. If you don't cast magic for longer than a day or so, you suffer. Go for a week and you'll bleed out your eyes. If you make it past that, well, I've never known anyone to even make it that far. The other accursed have magic as a side effect of whatever damnation has them in its grips. They don't have to cast their magic at all. Instead, they struggle with control in other ways. I'd rather die than be one of them. So you cast magic to stay whole. Haha, fuck you. This curse also takes from you when you cast magic. Magic demands sacrifice, and your curse will most often take it directly from you. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. And if that sounds bleak, it is. But now that I've hopefully scared the shit out of you, let me tell you how to deal. Magic needs a sacrifice, but you can choose what it is. If you don't choose, your curse chooses for you. Over the years, we've developed rituals to make sacrifices. You perform a ritual, make a sacrifice, and you get a bit of control over the way the magic goes. You can make your sacrifice well in advance of casting your spells, and even bank several sacrifices to cast a lot of spells on the fly. I like that. I like that, by the way. I like that idea. I like that you can kind of bank spells by pre-sacrificing. I feel called out by the sorcerer. There is a little bit of that. I mean, what was I saying yesterday about the creative process and how I liken it to getting the poison out? Yeah, I feel a lot of what's being said here. Sacrifices are more esoteric than you're thinking. The idea of sacrifice is more important than the physicality of it. Sorry, the idea of sacrifice is more important than the physicality of it. Curses don't really care what you give them, so long as whatever it is has meaning to you. It could be time and effort, something you care about, or something you just bought that holds special meaning. If you don't actively choose to sacrifice something and you cast magic, then your curse takes something. Maybe you'll break a bone, lose a pint of blood, or get a migraine. But just like your sacrifice is esoteric, curses take all forms. Sometimes it doesn't hurt you. It hurts your best friend, or it creates a backlash that hurts innocence. I've even seen someone lose their job, their car, their good name, all from curses. The goal here is to not let that happen. Sounds easy, and for the most part, it is. But you can only sacrifice so much before you start to feel like you don't have anything left. There's some sorcerers out there who have become hollow versions of who they used to be. They don't believe they have anything of value left to give the curses, and so they just don't. We call these people harrowed, and they are a danger to themselves and others. You see, when you get to the point of being harrowed, you feel like there's nothing else to give, and you're likely right. You can sacrifice all sorts of things and live a normal life, but you start digging into the, hierarchy of needs, and suddenly nothing is sacrosanct. You'll sacrifice your connections to the world, your friends, your family, your pets, and eventually you're out there fucking, eating, and sleeping without a foundation. Harrowed don't have friends, they don't want friends, and they don't care who they hurt. It might seem like the inevitable fate of all sorcerers is to end up harrowed. But don't worry, you have a family to help. It's not perfect, but we have a support network of family members who all know what you're going through and how to help you out. These families come from the ancient traditions of tribalism and gatekeeping. Our families are in a lot of cases literal families, or at least the backbone of them are. But it's more like the extreme extended family where your second cousin twice removed is showing up to your cookout and you have to let him take a plate home or the aunties will all get mad at you. In the early days, sorcerers tried to be loners. They'd use magic for wealth and status. They would spread curses either by taking on an apprentice or literally cursing someone who crossed them. Back then, it was far worse than it is now. They'd all end up harrowed in the end. Eventually, as sorcerers started having children, they realized they were passing their curse down the line without even trying. That's when families started forming, each a lineage of pedigree, grade A assholes, all cursed because of their love of power. Soon these family structures ballooned out because of intermarriage, politics, socioeconomic status, regional differences, all that boys club shit. Honestly, it was a bougie disease back then, with only the people with money in any kind of position to rub elbows with a sorcerer for long enough to catch a curse. Anyway, a few revolutions happened, some royals got guillotined, and suddenly anyone could be a sorcerer. That started its own problems, and a wizard war started up where folks decided that their way was the best way to do things. I don't know a lot about it, but I do know that it was bad enough that a bunch of outsiders showed up to join in. Maybe we summoned them, maybe they came because the magic was bleeding into the realms. In the end, a lot of sorcerers died, and we got these new family structures. If you're really interested in that ancient history stuff, you can ask my Uncle Carl. He keeps a genealogy and has the whole thing recorded. I'm sure he'd love to talk your ear off for hours about it. Anyway, families are mostly the people who raised you, the people who taught you, or the people you've decided most align with your sense of morals. The whole reason to belong to one is that they have a strong identity formed around which magics they teach and how they perform sacrifices. They act as a support network to the whole group to ensure that everyone always has access to training and sacrifices if they need it. Despite the many flaws in the system, few sorcerers choose to go it alone. Without that kind of support network, it's all too easy to end up harrowed. Families also dictate a lot of your magical experiences. You don't just end up a sorcerer and start casting magic on your own. Our magic is taught to us. I guess that's another burden of our curse. Well, we have an innate talent for casting all sorts of shit. We don't inherently know how to do it. We're good at emulation. If we see magic cast, we can absolutely make it happen ourselves, but we need to see it, learn it, and study it to really know it. The current families are pretty set in what they teach and practice. You'll find that these focuses mean not all sorcerers know the same things. If you try and learn from another family, you end up getting iced out of their more powerful magic. They say it's because knowing too much can kill you. I've heard it's because the more magic you learn, the harder it is to control. My guess it's some combination that curses are a fuck and sorcerers are secretive assholes. You'll find that while sacrifices help you keep control over your power, the constant desire for magic isn't so easily staved. Most sorcerers take the edge off by accumulating power instead. Usually it's magical training, but it doesn't have to be. I've seen folks seek out new knowledge, others climb the corporate ladder, still others find it in fame and fortune. Whatever form it takes, sorcerers are intense people and don't do anything by half measures. Your family will help you with your endeavors. They'll help supply sacrifices, network for your special interests, and teach you magical practices. That is, if you follow their guidelines. If you want to pursue your own interests, you're often on your own. Families pretend like they aren't dictating anything like acceptable rituals, sacrifices, or knowledge, but they sure will judge you if you step outside the box. There's a lot of history wrapped up in family delineations, and if you start crossing into another family's sandbox, they'll get spicy with you. They all have strong opinions on what's right and what's theirs, and they don't like anyone stepping up. You'll find the balance between sorcerer families can sometimes get shaky, and there's a lot of politics keeping everything in place. There are few things that families agree on, and the big two are: don't use magic to fuck with big things like politics and lives, and don't sacrifice humans. Both are big enough to get us noticed in a way that is bad for everyone. It's not a vibe, and you'll find yourself hunted by all the families if you break those rules. I like that. I like that. We're making a point, and it's kind of Camarilla-esque. Like, look, we all agree that without, we are hungry for power, and we are assholes as a rule. We are all assholes. We want the powers. Give me the power. But ground rules. Leave politics out of it. I don't know. No casting spells to make your guy president. And no sacrificing humans. Which, of course, means there are going to be bad guys out there. I mean, okay. Hey, hi. No, you can't. You don't get away. You get to be part of this. Look at the world we live in. This is the world we live in, and these are the cats we're given. Look at the world we live in. If sorcerers existed, if a type of magic, you want down? Does she want down? Yes, she does. She's gonna bite the fuck out of me in a second. Yep, there we go. Look at the world we live in. Are you going to tell me? Him? Welcome in, buddy. Welcome in. We're wrapping. We're in the last bits of the show. We're like half an hour away from the end of the stream. But yes, it's been a good stream. We've had people chatting. It's been a good time. Thank you as always. I was wondering if you were going to stop by today. Thank you as always for stopping by, Hemang. Much appreciated. And yes, she would a free sacrifice potato strogobus. My cat would, in fact. I love this shirt. Here we go, everybody. Today's shirt is the Starbucks the Starbucks satanic logo. Big fan of it. But yes, look, my cat would sacrifice all of you in a heartbeat is I think what we're trying to say. But also, like, in this world, in this political climate, if there were sorcerers in the real world, you think for a second they wouldn't be like casting spells to get their guys in office? Like, yeah. So I'm hoping, I'm glad they make a point of this, and that like all the families are like, nah, we don't fuck with politics, we don't sacrifice people. That's just a quick way to like get the mortals to go to fucking war with us. So good, smart. Sorcerers are smart. Cursed, but smart. All right, let's see here. If you do have a body to hide, it's good to have friends. Also true. But part of the reason why I've stayed friends with my friends for this long is because of all the bodies that we've had to hide. Just as a general, you just have to do it in a roundabout way. Yes. Fuck. I'm so bad at segues. The fact that I just said that is going to live rent-free in my head for the next week. But my God, the sheer level of millenniality in this writing. Rent-free in my head. Okay, anyway, the point is that you need more than just your family. They will be there for you, sure, but that's not always a good thing. It's good to make friends outside your family, especially so you can learn whatever magical traditions they pretend are secrets. There's nothing better than showing up at a big sorcerer gathering and showing off a new spell that some dusty old head thinks is their specialty. A lot of sorcerers pretend like they don't need each other. Don't be like them. You need other sorcerers. That doesn't mean you should always trust them, but you definitely need them. Sorcerers aren't the only accursed you're going to run into. Most of them look at us with some side eye. It isn't bad per se, but it's hard to explain. I have all this magic, and it's so hard to not just use it all the time to do whatever I want to people who are literally dead. We get along with all of them just fine. Don't worry. I think you're gonna find some of your best friends among the outcasts. They're most like us in the fact that they are mostly normal people who just have a lot of power that they have to learn to control. I say they're mostly normal, but their power isn't just big magic. Instead, they've got some otherworldly heritage shit. It's easy to forget they aren't just like you until they lose control and suddenly they're all, "Be not afraid," at you. It's wildly different, yet they get us better than most. Also, it's hard to look at someone like that and feel sorry for yourself. The dead are an interesting lot. Oh, hey, wait. I like this. You actually, you triggered the curses. Did that not actually trigger? Did that go through? Wait. That's supposed to have gone through. I wasn't looking at the screen, but I was supposed to have heard the curses go through. Did that actually go through? Action history. When was this? Was today? Yes, it looks like it went through. I hope. Chat. Let me know if a couple of minutes ago. Yes. Okay. Cool. So you did hear that. Why did I should have heard that? That should have played in my ears. That's how I know it triggers. I mean, I do get an alert, but I don't keep an eye. Okay. So yes. So that happened. So you did hear I made see, I'm telling you, I gotta set some kind of, there we go. Okay, why didn't I hear that? I'm supposed to have heard that. Yes, but also, hey, thanks for testing that. So good to know it works. I mean, it's important that you hear it, more important that you hear it than I hear it, but also the point behind me hearing it was going to be that, that I know it got triggered. So that's annoying. That's annoying. I will fix that later. But also, hey, cool. It works. All right, cool. Anyway, so afraid that sorry, I didn't mean to ignore your redemption earlier. I just didn't realize it had happened. That's the whole point, that I wanted it to make a noise so I wouldn't accidentally ignore them. So hey. But hey, y'all have that power now. Y'all have that power. No problem. Okay, good. Yeah, I just don't want you to feel like it's like, oh yeah, I told you to do the thing and you did the thing and I gave you nothing. Just this complete no feedback. It's like, oh great, I'm a dick now. No, we're all good. All right, look, let's go here. Let's finish this paragraph and then we'll do our last ad break of the stream. Accidentally ignored. No. Look. Freitas here, this person in the chat, one of the few people in this chat that I've actually met in person. It was like nearly 2 decades ago at this point, honestly. Like I think it was like over 15 years ago that I think probably was the last time we saw this, back when like the whole Twitterican thing was going on. But I have met this person. I played Dungeons and Dragons. I invited him to my home once upon a time and played Dungeons and Dragons with this person. So no, I would never ignore the deep lore. Exactly. So sincerely appreciate you hanging out, by the way. And you know what? Before we're going to talk about the dead, we're going to talk about the hungry, we're going to talk about how the sorcerers think about all these various peoples and groups. But more than anything, we're going to watch some ads for a minute and a half. But it's the last time we're doing this stream, so hey, there we go. Be right back. We are back. Welcome, folks. Welcome. All right, let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this up. Magic. Let's see. Phoenix, catching up on chat. Magic, great spells. Casting your voice and visage across the world requires great sacrifice. Adds. Exactly. You have like. I'm not even kidding. That is exactly like this is a spell. When you think about it, that's one of my favorite things. It's one of my favorite things. When you think about like that is how normalized it has become. That like. Okay, do you realize when you think about computers at their core what it is? We taught rocks to do math using lightning. The trick is you have to make them very, very flat. That makes no fucking sense. And yet here we are all different parts of the world chatting. I'm transmitting my image and voice. I'm transmitting things I'm seeing. I'm documents that don't even physically exist. And yet here we are transmitting information throughout like this. These are miracles. We are performing miracles every day. And yet here we also have anxiety and depression. So I mean, you know, you fucked up a perfectly good ape. You gave it the internet, and now we've got anxiety and depression. Let's see. You carve arcane runes upon them using various languages. Exactly. Watching chips get made is fun. Let me flatten this rock and sketch some patterns on it that light can follow. Right. It's wild. It is when you think about it at its core. It's magic. It's magic. It is the imposing of our will upon the world in using, you know, arcane tools. It's wild. It's wild. So yes, exactly. All right, let's use these last 20 minutes that we've got to read a little bit more about Sorcerers again. Then tomorrow we're going, I think we'll get to the tournaments and all this stuff, and then tomorrow we'll actually start looking at the families proper. I think with the time we've been given, it remains, and my penchant for side tangents, I don't think we're making it to the families today. So let's get back to talking about how the sorcerers feel about the others. So we already saw how they feel about the outcasts. They like the outcasts. The dead, they're okay with the dead. I'm gonna reread the dead. I don't think I actually read them the first time. I don't think we read the dead. So let's read the dead. The dead are an interesting lot. They aren't ghosts, but do ghost things. And it's sometimes a little confusing because they always want you to talk about your feelings. The party slaps, so don't turn down an invite. Tangent. I like that everybody keeps referring to the parties that the dead run, because one of the games that doesn't get nearly enough love is Geist the Sin Eaters, first and second edition. I think second edition has a much better system, but they really changed systems between first and second edition, but the mythology was pretty close to unchanged. Anyway, I really like the Geist the Sin Eaters, and part of the whole thing was the celebration of death. Like they put together parties and they celebrated, and they had these wakes and these wild, this tying of celebratory events to the dead was cool. I like that, and I like that sort of translated into how the dead deal with their stuff as well. I dig the entire connection there. Catching up on chat real quick. Let's see. You finished up your basic crafting system rough draft yesterday because last Friday's stream. Hell yeah, Hell yeah, Phoenix. Good, good, good. I'm looking forward to working more with the crafting system. I've had a few ideas. So I've already got the basics, like the basic, like create an object. It does the basic thing. Here's how you make it last longer. Here's how you make it permanent. So when I get into mine now comes the part where where we're actually creating funky stuff, right? We're creating actual magical items and special effects and all that sort of stuff. So I'm excited for that. Crafting systems are fun, and I'm hoping that I can still keep the sort of the fast pace of the one that I've got now. I want to create a wand, so I guess that's what my character is doing for the next 3 months. See you guys later. Kind of vibe that a lot of other crafting systems tend to have. Dan, not to completely derail you right now, but you will. Vox Machina, not perfect in any way, but maybe people would be interested in a discussion. It has a gunslinger, true. Okay, look, I don't mind. I don't hate D&D. I just don't want to play it myself or run it. I'm not interested. I'm willing to play it. Like if somebody else runs, I'll play. I'm just not interested in running it. But otherwise, I'm fine with D&D in general. And honestly, Vox Machina, look, I've said this before, and I always feel weird about saying it because I am part of an actual play podcast that actually has been running far longer than Vox Machina. Okay, as somebody who has been part of a very long-running actual play podcast, I'm not an actual play podcast person. I don't really listen or watch to a lot of actual plays. I don't. They're not my jam. Nothing against them. Again, I'm part of one, and I love that people listen. But they're just. I don't really enjoy listening to a lot of actual plays. I've watched some, and it depends on it's very hit and miss. Vox Machina and the Critical Role crew in general. They're good. I used to enjoy watching their stuff. I just don't have the time. I don't have like 4 hours every Thursday to spend with them. I say as if I wasn't doing 3 hours every weekday just ranting about games. I have nothing against them. If anything, my only problem is the kind of the community. It became such a thing. The community became so big, and it was so weirdly overprotective. Any kind of the most minor criticism, or just simply going like, they're not my thing, would get you attacked. Like with so many things, it's always like the fan base that really tires you out. The animation. Yes, I like it. I've watched first season, I'm up to date on the current ones. I'm yo-ho-hoing all the episodes. But yes, no, I think it's a fun show. I think it's honestly, I like that it's a little silly, which is how it should be. D&D is a silly game. And I don't mind how they play it. Look, there's a lot of discourse that can happen around Critical Role and Vox Machina and all that stuff in terms of how they're retied to the tabletop RPGs and how people have certain expectations. Not every dungeon master can be Matt Mercer, and you shouldn't expect that. But overall, I think they're fine. And the animation, I'm glad we get it. I'm glad holy shit, how am I going to complain that in the year 2024, the plague year of 2024 of our Lord Nurgle, Papa Nurgle, the plague spreader, we have a multi-million-dollar budget animation of somebody's home D&D game, multiple seasons of it. Amazing. Even if I thought it was shit, and I don't think it's shit, I think it's pretty good. Even if it was shit though, holy amazing. So happy for you. Holy shit. Yes, more of that. Yeah, the little kid that grew up literally, again, as I've said multiple times in the stream, learning to read with the original D&D books. If you told that little kid that when he grew up D&D was going to like be cool, a major media property, people in just regular conversations would talk about it. Like it was, yeah, no, I wouldn't have believed you. So I'm thrilled. I'm super happy. I'm super happy for them. I'm jealous as fuck. Honestly, like I remember when Critical Role first started getting big, I remember going like, especially the early stuff, some of the early stuff, I listened to it, and then I would listen to some of our stuff and look, our early stuff was rough as fuck. And honestly, some of our recent stuff can be a little rough. But also, we don't have a huge budget. We're just friends kind of hanging around. And, there was a point where I would listen to Critical Role, and I would then listen to, anything that we've recorded, and I'd be like, we are just as good, if not better. Like, these guys, look, these guys are fucking voice actors, they're trained actors, etc., etc. Nothing but respect for them. But it was more of a like, yeah, there was that element of like, man, why are they hitting it big and we aren't? And look, man, it's not fair. It's not fair. They have context. They are trained actors. They're in California. They were in a part where there are more contexts and everything. Like, I get it. I'm not comparing to us. I'm not saying, oh, they stole it, because they didn't. They have no fucking clue who we are, and they shouldn't have to. We are. I take pride now in being part of one of the longest running tabletop RPG podcasts that nobody has ever fucking heard of. But I like it. Overall, look, man, I don't hate it. I don't hate Critical Role. I try not to engage with the fan base for reasons. The fan base it can be a little toxic. And it keeps falling into that whole, then the eternal argument of D&D is the only game I love D&D is the best, D&D is the only, D&D, and then the rest of us going like, can we talk about something else? And they just, how dare you yuck on my fun. It's like, I'm not yucking on your fun. Enjoy your D&D, but I'm gonna go play something else. How dare you? Like I've seen those reactions from some of those people that are like, just the fact that I want to play something else, they see as an attack on the thing that they are playing, and that bugs me. So I like Critical Role. I like what they produce. I like the products that they put out. I like the shows. I will engage with them and their fan base as little as humanly possible. That is my opinion on Vox Machina in general. I like it. It's a fun show. I refuse to have anything to do with their fan base. Let's see. If it gets people to play tabletop RPGs, or as we established earlier in the show, titterpigs. If it gets people to play titterpigs, they can play whatever they want. Most of my friends are now primarily D&D, despite my efforts to pull them to other games. Yeah, no, it is hard. It is kind of hard. People like get used to one system, and especially if you spent time getting to know D&D, because some people say like, oh, but D&D is so simple and intuitive. It's not. D&D is not simple. It's not intuitive. It's just become the default. So much about it has become the default mode of thinking for tabletop RPGs that it feels simple and intuitive, simply because you've already been exposed to it so much, because so much of what it does has become the lingua franca of the hobby. Not that it is inherently simpler or easier to learn. It really isn't. But again, it's that whole like disagreement is an attack kind of thing, and it's just really annoying. Let's see. Oh, hey, the chatbot mentioned that I run games after shit talking them. So, oh, by the way, I run games. Would you like to pay me money to run a game for you? I'll do that. It's there. There's the link. There is the link. I don't particularly care for the Crunchy or Critical Role. Crunchyroll. That's another beast. Wait. I skipped one. It's not uncommon. Okay, here you go. From Phoenix. It's not uncommon for people to not do their job outside of it. I heard that from several actual play makers is once they make them listen less or not at all. Yeah, exactly. I think it might be I think part of it is that I've been part of an actual play podcast for so long that I can't listen to most other actual plays and not kind of listen to them from a craftsman perspective. I keep like I can't get into the show because I'm too busy li- listening to the craft of it and listening to the audio engineering and stuff like that. It is a testament, and I have called them out before, and I will call them out again. The Explorers Wanted podcast, explorerswanted.fm. Check them out, friends of our show, and one of the few tabletop RPG podcasts, one of the few Titter Pig podcasts that I listen to on a regular basis. Even them, as much as I love them, I kind of just put them aside for a few months at a time and then just catch up in a big burst. So I feel like I'm just listening to a big audiobook. But they are that good. They are that good. The voice acting, everything else. Daniel Anderlich, he is an amazing storyteller and GM. All the players are fun. The audio quality is amazing. Like, it's that, to me, they are one of the ideal tabletop RPG podcasts and actual play podcasts out there. You should check them out. If you want to know what I think is like the top of the line, like how most shows should be, Explorers Wanted. That's to me. They play the Numenera. If you haven't heard of it, check it out. It's good stuff. Highly recommend them. Honestly, I recommend them first before I recommend our podcast, because we're just some silly, goofy guys. All right, we're a bunch of silly, goofy guys. Half our games are one shots where we have a passing familiarity at best with whatever rule set we chose to play 5 minutes before turning on the mics. Okay, we do not take this shit seriously. There's a reason we are the longest running tabletop RPG podcast that you've never heard of. We're not doing anything right. We're doing everything wrong. We're still making a fun show. But honestly, if you're looking for an ongoing story, a good storyline, solid role playing, solid audio quality, everything else, and multiple seasons, they've been going from here, they're going solid. They show no signs of slowing down. Explorers, that's the one that I would recommend to most people. As like, I'm looking for an example of a non-D&D tabletop RPG podcast, actual play podcast. Boom, without a second's hesitation. Quick, continuing on chat. Arbalest says, I don't particularly care for the Critical Role podcast, but if it gets us more D&D movies and shows, as well as another step towards other productions for other games like Warhammer, Rifts, etc., then by all means. Exactly. A rising tide lifts most boats. Phoenix says, the same mindset that we talked about yesterday in the differences in attack points. Exactly. Phrase Arbalest, I gotta say, I really enjoyed the last D&D movie much more than I ever thought I would. It was great. Yes. Holy shit, the most recent D&D movie, that was fun. That was so much fun. That movie does not get enough credits. I had a really good time with that dumb movie. I liked it. I love it. And I'm glad we got it. If you want to check out another one with actors and voice actors, a film reroll is a podcast where we play through your favorite movies, RPGs, and totally. I've heard good things about that one. I have not listened to it, but I've heard really good things. I really should give them a listen at some point. So yeah, feel free to like shout out. Like I said, I have my own, but you already know. I'm just gonna shout them out real quick because I have a button for it. I may as well. But please feel free to shout out any other like podcasts that you think you would like to share with friends. We're amongst friends here, and hey, fellow friends, we are 8 minutes away from the end of the show today, the end of the stream today. So let me at least finish up seeing what the sorcerers think of the other ones. Although we afraid this, you did derail me, and it's look, this is what we're here for. All right, y'all pay your good money, or at least put up with ads, because for the entertainment value of seeing me get absolutely fucking derailed multiple times. I met them at a con. And they have played a game live. They were all very nice. And a bunch of them are in New York. We all know how small that town is. I wouldn't be surprised if I've met a couple. I appreciate that, Afraid. You're always welcome to just absolutely derail me. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, Potato, if we have met. There's not a lot of like New York-based gaming conventions. They're mostly the ones over in Jersey, the DexCon series, which I wish I was going, but I can't afford it right now. But hopefully next year I can make it out to a few cons. This year really fucked up my plans. I had so many plans, so many cons that I was going to go to, and then unemployment. Anyway, folks, what do the sorcerers think about the dead? The dead are an interesting lot. Look, I'm going to get through this before I finish this goddamn stream. The dead are an interesting lot. They aren't ghosts, but do ghost things. And it's sometimes a little confusing because they always want you to talk about your feelings. I did read about this. Their party slap, which, as I got distracted talking about Geist, I think they are the best at understanding the need to cast a spell because they suffer something like that themselves. It isn't the same, but it's a good way to relate to one another. Having a dead as a friend can be pretty good for your mental health, so if you're going to sacrifice a friendship to survive, don't cut out your dead friends. That's good advice in general. Don't cut out your dead friends. The hungry are dicks. If you're looking for a bigger group of assholes than sorcerers, you need look no further. I'm not saying this because they have a better handle on their needs than we do. And I'm also not saying this out of jealousy because I wouldn't want to be a walking dead person who needs to eat people to live. Okay, maybe I am a little jealous of their drip. It's because they live so long, they get it in their heads that they are genuinely better than everyone else. The young ones aren't so bad though, and they have a cool blood magic that if you're nice, they'll teach you. Neo-Anarchist Podcast, Arcology, both good actual play podcasts. I'll check them out. Adding it all to the list. We have a list. If you need someone large, strapping, and a little scary, find yourself a primal buddy. First of all, shapeshifting is lit. They're gonna keep making me say lit. They also understand the complexity of family loyalty and ties that bind. They make for good, loyal friends who won't shit on you for being a little extra. I'm not trying to romanticize them here. They have some serious control issues themselves when they curse, and when their curse overtakes them, it can get dangerous. Maybe the fact that we can also be a danger to others when we lose control makes that kind of friendship hit different. Oh, reading this is giving me an aneurysm, I swear. Chat, I like the implication that the spells can be taught and learned by any lineage. I do like that. I like the motivation of a sorcerer getting to know other lineages to learn their magic, their curse magic, learn to deal with curses like they do. I do kind of dig. Sorry, I do kind of dig that. It's true. You'll find that human practitioners also make some interesting friends. They can't cast spells the same way as you can, but they make up for that with ingenuity. Just make sure you aren't teaching them too much about us. It isn't necessarily a secrecy thing, it's more that unless you're aiming to spread your curse to your friends, you don't want to get them digging into it. I call them hedge mages, and they seem okay with that distinction. Some other sorcerers call them occultists, as if their abilities only lie in the theoretical. Unless you're the kind of sorcerer who thinks that the best use of your magic is to summon piles of cash, you'll probably want to keep your job. Maybe get yourself a better job. Go do something you like rather than 3 gigs that barely pay the bills. I like to have something to do with my day. It also helps you to keep you grounded. If you get too up your own ass about magic, you forget what it's like to be a person, and that's a dangerous route to becoming harrowed. I make friends all over. Julie at the faux place, she knows, sorry, not faux. No, faux at the pho place, the pho. I do dog sitting for, no, sorry. I make friends all over. Julie at the pho place, knows my order the moment I walk in. She's also studying to be a nurse and gets me low-cost medical supplies. Yes, I can use magic to patch someone up, but sometimes you need a stint in a saline bag with no questions asked. Look, I do dog sitting for a bunch of people, including the mayor's wife, Tilly. It's funny the kind of connections you can make when you teach someone's dog perfect obedience. That woman falls all over herself to get me tickets to events she can't make it to. Alicia, my hairdresser, she's in a band. She plays all the local venues regularly, and I've always got a backstage pass whenever I want one. Yes, I could do my own hair, but how else could I learn all the hot goss about who's sleeping with who? Okay, I like this. I like that sorcerers are presented as having a social network, a social web of people that help keep them grounded, because their whole curse is that they need to use magic all the time, and it's so easy to become inhuman when you have this burning need to cast fireball, which I can identify with. I really can identify with that need, honestly. Look, as we're ending the stream today, we're wrapping up. It is time. It is time to end the stream today. I think out of the various lineages that Curseborne has shown us, we have seen that almost all of them have a certain je ne sais quoi, a certain whiff of Leticism, if you will, and different aspects of neurodivergent or otherwise minority existence are reflected in many ways among the various lineages that we have seen in this game. And Sorcerer, like most of them, speaks to me. It speaks to me in several ways. I am excited for tomorrow. Keep an eye on the streams. I may simply start the stream and end the stream early because I have a 4 p.m. Eastern appointment, a webinar that I have to show up for. So I may simply stream from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. instead of 2 to 5, which I usually do, or I may do a shorter stream. We'll see. Either way, I will be back tomorrow. Keep an eye on my socials for that, or just keep an eye on the alerts on this channel. And tomorrow we will continue watching. We'll continue seeing the actual details on the various families for the sorcerers. I'm excited about that. Let's see what we've got there, what we've got to offer, and then eventually we actually get to look at the actual magic. I need to see what the powers look like, which I guess we'll get to next week at this rate. Quick catch up on chat before we leave. Good times. Came a long way from playing Legend of the Five Rings after taking that bump in the Hey! Yo, I know who that guy is, you fucking nerd. Welcome in, buddy. Welcome in. I know who that is. Yes. We've come a long way. It's been a while. Legend of the Five Rings. I haven't played that game in way too long. Holy shit. Also, I don't know when was the last time. There's another blast from the past back in Puerto Rico. This individual here in chat. I don't know if, what was the last time you've been there, but alas, el último chance. That the dip. Once up the cliff, fucking cliff face. The 90-degree cliff that used to exist near my house, near both our houses. It's been smoothed out. Now it's just a gentle dip. It's not the fucking that it used to be. Such a shame. Kids these days, they'll never know what we experienced. Anyway, yeah, it got fixed. It got fixed. No, it was perfect. It did not need to get fixed. It was perfect. It was no. If it was your fault that they got rid of it, and they destroyed such a beautiful road monument, the giant cliff that you can fly over. If it's your fault, then get the fuck out of my channel. I want nothing to do with you in that case. But on that note, folks, I gotta wrap up. It's 5 p.m. and I gotta get going. So thank you, folks, as always, so much for hanging out. I will be back tomorrow, either 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. Eastern. Friday is still up in the air. I don't know. Just some stuff going on. I might not have the availability. But if I am, then we'll continue working on my game as we usually do. Saturday, no streams. Sunday, 99% chance that I'm going to be streaming some TCG Shop Simulator, because that game is like, as soon as we finish the stream, I got to do some stuff. But then after that, I might just spend the rest of my night playing that. It is addictive, and I should not. I made a mistake. Don't be like me. Don't spend $13, an incredibly affordable $13 in TCG Shop Simulator. It will devour your life, and we can't have that. I need you guys to show up back on the stream tomorrow. So do that instead. Folks, I gotta go. I will see you hopefully tomorrow. Take care, whatever time zone you find yourselves in, and have a good one. Bye, folks.